Welcome to the World Home Economics Webinar Series Part 1, 2025. Hatid sa inyo ng Philippine Association for Technology and Home Economics of State Colleges and Universities Incorporated in partnership with Usapang Pantahanan YouTube channel.
Hello everyone! Welcome to our World Home Economics Webinar Series 2025. And of course, to all our dear participants, we welcome you all together with Dr. Fem, Dr. Aquino. We will be tackling for this webinar all about tackling overconsumption. So if I got ahead now, tackling overconsumption. And we are blessed to have experts in the different areas in home economics, and they will be sharing with you the tips on how to tackle overconsumption of anything that we have at home. Dr. Fem, good morning, good noon, good day. How are you?
Magandang umaga, Dr. Yusores, and thank you for introducing the theme of the World Home Economics webinar series for this year 2025. And we are so blessed that we have 4 experts that we will going to talk about different fields in tackling overconsumption. But of course, before we introduce our speakers, Dr. Yusores and I will be sharing an overview about overconsumption. Mahalaga po na maintindihan natin yung tema for this World Home Economics Webinar 2025. Actually, Dr. Yusores, the theme tackling overconsumption, it's came from the International Federation of Home Economics. And all over the world, we are all celebrating a World Home Economics theme. And I'm grateful for this theme kasi napaka-timely and ang dami-daming mga pwedeng pag-usapan tungkol sa overconsumption. Yan. And of course, we would like to greet all our teachers who signed up and registered for this webinar. Is already approved by PRC under the program accreditation number PTR 2021-3427947. Kaya po, there's an equivalent CPD units for professional teachers who sign up for this webinar. And of course, we would like to welcome all kahit hindi mo nag-sign up, because ito pong usapin tungkol sa overconsumption ay para po sa lahat, sa buong pamilya, hindi lamang po sa mga teachers. Dr. Yusores, gagawin po natin ay magkakaroon muna ho tayo ng background about overconsumption. So mag-share po kami ni Dr. Yusores. And then later on, we will hear from our resource speakers.
All right. Ang definition at ang scope ng overconsumption, it refers to the excessive use of resources beyond sustainable levels. And of course, it impacts individuals, households, communities, and the environment. It also leads to the depletion of natural resources, increased waste, and financial burdens. So alam ko lahat kayo ay nakaka-feel na sa ating pamamahay, whether we like it or not, meron tayo mga overconsumption. Alam natin lahat yan. Pero we'll discuss this more later. So, meaning, marami tayong sobra sa bahay na it also affects our budget. Later, we will discuss it. So, let us analyze now. Ano ba ang impact ng overconsumption sa ating pamumuhay?
Okay, that's a good question. Yan, no? Sa unang-una pa lang, tulad ng nabanggit kanina ni Dr. Yusores, sa bahay pa lang, ang lakas na, ang daming impact nito. Kapag tayo ay kumukonsumo ng sobra sa ating pangangailangan. Katulad na lamang po ng nakikita nyo dito sa ating slide, ano yung nakikita nyo? There's higher expenses of electric bill. Kasi may mga, may mga practices tayo, diba, sa bahay natin na kung saan, kung hindi ginagamit ang ilaw, naka-on. Hindi ginagamit ang aircon, naka-on. Parang ang dami nating naka-on na ilaw, o anumang appliance sa bahay. Kaya minsan, magtataka na lang tayo. Pag dumating na yung electric bill, ang daming babayaran. Kasi nga naman, akala kasi natin, pag napabayaan natin ng kahit 1 hour, okay lang yan. Hindi Ibig sabihin, tumatakbo talaga yung ating kuryente. Kaya anything na hindi natin, kumbaga, kung hindi kailangan, wag buksan o patayin natin kung hindi kailangan. No? Minsan yung electric fan, umaandar, walang tao. Yun. Sa pagiging mindful pa lang tayo sa pagkonsumo sa sarili nating tahanan para hindi umakyat ang ating electric bill. Kasi isa yan sa mga consequences pag tayo po ay na may overconsumption na tinatawag, higit sa pangangailangan. At syempre, ito typical to, food waste. Diba? Minsan dahil sa kakulangan ng meal planning, hindi natin pinaplano ano yung kailangan nating bilhin sa palengke. Minsan napapabili tayo sobra doon sa kailangan ng pamilya. Diba? So, isa yan sa mga dahilan kung bakit naitatapon na lang natin yung pagkain kasi pag marami tayong leftovers, although pwede pa natin siyang kainin, kaya lang, minsan napapabayaan na yan sa ref. At dahil nga, syempre, hindi naman natin, kung hindi na pwedeng kainin, dahil hindi na siya safe kainin, itatapon na lang. So, ganon. So, food waste is another a form of overconsumption and sayang yung pagkain, sayang yung pera na naitapon dahil sa hindi na iplano ng maayos yung kakainin ng pamilya. At ito, Dr. Yusores, I think most families are guilty of that. Clutter.
Yes.
Diba? Every year, pagkatapos ng taon, maraming namimigay ng kanilang clutter, or that's one way to handle it. But then, of course, pag titingnan mo pa lang itong picture na to, parang ang daming nakaka-relate dito. Totoo yan, because of the advent of so many social media, sa selling, live selling, na minabubudol ang ilan sa ating kapamilya to the point na hindi mo na alam, ito ba'y functional pa? Naka-display na lang yan sa iyong kwarto, kung saan mang parte ng iyong bahay at hindi nagagalaw. So, ibig sabihin yan, clutter yan. Hanggang mag-accumulate ka na ng maraming gamit sa bahay. Kasi hindi mo siya ginagamit. That is clutter.
Correct.
It's one of the impacts sa household. And what can you say, Dr. Yusores, sa iba pang mga impact nito?
Okay. Ito. Mga, kumbaga, ano rin tayo rito. We are also a victim and also we allow it to happen. Ayan, no? Overeating can contribute to obesity and related health issues. Totoo po yan. Kasi, pag nag-overeat tayo, ang ating digestive organs nag-work harder. And we feel bloated, nagkakaroon ng reflux, and minsan, sa kabusugan, nahihilo tayo o nasusuka. No? And also, it tends to cause sugar rush followed by sugar crash. And also, it can put a strain on the pancreas which leads to pancreatitis. Kasi naman, dapat tayo pag kumain, yung tama lang na hindi natin kailangang mabundat-bundat. Kaya lang, Mami, Dr. Fem, isa sa nito, ang magkakaroon ng buffet, yung mga buffet meals. Kasi syempre, lalo na kung mag-blow out ka, let us say 1,000 per head, ang nasa isip mo is, makain mo lahat ang naandoon because you're paying 1,000 pesos, di ba? Kasi kaya nag-overeat tayo dyan. Tapos at the end of the day, sasakitan dyan natin. And of course, pag lagi natin ginagawa ito, it will lead us to hospital. And again, additional expenses. So, kailangan, moderation lang po ang kain, no? Hanggat maaari, let us go back to the basic. Konting carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, and of course, yung mga tubig na makakatulong sa ating katawan. Wala na po sanang soda kasi dagdag din yan sa expenditures. Pero it still boils down to our own discipline. Yan. Diba? Mami Fem, Dr. Fem. Nasasanay kasi ako ng Mami Fem Dr. Aquino.
Oo. Dr. Sores, salamat sa viewpoint na yan. Nakala natin ang overconsumption ay tulad nung nabanggit ko lang kanina. Pero sa pagkain pala, no, yung ating pagdidieta, kasama pala yan. Kung kakain ka sa sobra sa pangangailangan ng katawan, that's overconsumption. Kaya naman ang DOST-FNRI ay naglabas ng nutritional guidelines na kung saan merong pinggang Pinoy. We just have to follow the pinggang Pinoy and we will be safe. Kasi hindi kailangan kumain tayo ng sobra. Kasi tulad ng nabanggit ni Dr. Yusores, nako, ang ano niya, ng health natin ang kapalit naman. Lalo na kung if you are consuming a lot of high-calorie foods or foods that are high in sugar and fats, no? Tulad nung nandito sa picture. Ayan. And syempre, alam naman natin, tulad ng nabanggit natin kanina, tapon dito, tapon doon, food waste. Pero alam mo ba, bukod sa food waste, Dr. Yusores at sa ating mga listeners, isa sa mga pinanggagalingan din ng waste ay itong mga damit. No? Ang dami-daming damit. Totoo yan, yung nasa picture na
here.
Totoo yan, no? Kaya naman, ang dami pong mga advokasya na lumalabas, hindi lamang sa mga estudyante ko from the HE102 course, no? On how to declutter sa mga clothing, how to reuse, recycle this clothing. Kasi, totoo talaga na sa dami kasi ng mga tinatawag na fast fashion, yung nauusong mga damit, tapos mapagsasawaan na agad-agad. Kung hindi maibigay, itatapon na lang, di ba? And yung landfill natin ay napupuno ng mga ganitong klaseng mga waste na kung saan hindi siya natutunaw. Di ba? At nagiging hindi napapakinabangan ang soil. Kasi puno na siya ng mga fabrics na hindi natutunaw. It's soil pollution. No? Yan ang problema natin. Kaya ito ay isa sa mga epekto ng overconsumption. Kumbaga, kung may damit ka, kasi minsan may mga pagkakataon, pag napagsawaan mo na yung damit mo, bibili ka na naman ng marami. Lalo na kung ikaw ay mahilig sa damit, di ba? Parang ayaw mo nang ulitin yung mga damit mo. Yun ang problema. So, ano mangyari? Pag binigay mo yan sa ibang tao, okay lang naman yan na ibibigay natin, i-donate natin. What if yung pinagbigyan natin, hindi naman yung type yung damit na binigay niya? Di ba? At hindi siya conscious sa environment. Tapos tatapon na lang, ilalagay niya sa plastic bag, tapon na siya. So, syempre, yung kapasurero, wala naman silang choice. Kung pag sila ay nagkumuha na ng mga syempre, mga trash, it will directly go to the landfill. Hindi na nila yan masyadong pinakikialaman kung saan mapupunta, kundi straight to the landfill. Ayan. So, another impact, Dr. Yusores.
Yan. Ito ang malimit nagiging problema natin, lalong-lalo yung mga nag-uumpisang pamilya o kaya yung medyo hindi kalaki ng sweldo, no? Nagkakaroon din kasi ng mga overconsumption strains household budgets. Tulad kanina sinabi ni Dr. Fem na yung kuryente na hindi naman ginagamit naka-on. So nakakadagdag yan sa bills natin. So ako natutuwa rin ako sa mga family na pag talaga hindi ginagamit ang mga ilaw sa banyo, sa kwarto, talagang pinapatay nila dahil nakakabawas yun sa pagtaas ng bill ng kuryente. At saka minsan, we tend to buy things na hindi naman natin kailangan. Mapasyal ka lang sa mall at nakakita ka ng isang ganito, parang hindi naman need, then we tend to buy. So anong nangyayari? na gagamit natin yung pera natin na minsan may intended for something na gagamit, and then also nakakalimutan na rin natin magkaroon ng ability to save kasi na gagamit lahat ang pera because of buying of unnecessary clothes, using electricity na hindi naman talagang tama, kahit ang tubig binababayaan nakaon. So it really affects our family finances. Tsaka syempre, pag hindi tayo kumakain na maayos at nagkakasakit, again, another thing, we have to have budget for hospitalization or for medication. So yan. So kailangan talaga lahat ng bagay laging in moderation.
Yes, I agree. At syempre, ito, pinag-uusapan natin ang overconsumption sa iba't ibang aspeto. Kanina yung sa health, tapos yung sa finance, sa tubig, sa mga ating mga binibili na hindi naman kailangan. Ito ay isang mahalagang usapin tungkol naman ito sa pamilya when it comes to screen time or consumption of media.
Yes.
This is very timely. Kailangan ay atin pong pag-isipan ng mabuti kung ito po bang ating pamilya they are in excess of screen time, excess in consuming media, meaning ang media, hindi na TV and radyo na lang ngayon ang dami ng forms.
Marami na.
Dahil all may cellphone, bata, matanda, may cellphone. And most of the time, our kids, isa sila sa mga users ng mga iba't ibang apps. Lalo na yung mga games. And do you know, Dr. Yusores, and of course, to all our listeners, that excessive screen time can harm children. At napatunayan na yan ng iba't ibang studies na ginawa. No? Sabi nga, prolonged screen time can affect overall development in young kids. Dahil, syempre, for instance, yung mata lang yung mata lang ng bata, nai-strain because of course of the radiation, the light, the coming from the gadget. It strains the eyes. Hindi lang yun, merong mga lumilitaw na mga incident na pati yung mental development or physical development ng bata dahil hindi na gumagalaw.
Correct.
Ang laro nila nandiyan na sa digital games. Yan. At syempre, it damages relationship kung hindi mo ma-monitor ito. Pag over na. There are times na hapagkainan, abay, kanya-kanyang cellphone, di na nag-uusap ang pamilya kung hindi ma-monitor. But there are still, in fairness naman, there are still some families na meron silang mga rules sa kanilang bahay, especially sa family time nila, like eating together, remove our cell phones, let's talk lang, at magkamustahan. Yan. So, talaga, when we are, lahat ng bagay, Dr. Yusores, pag sumobra talaga, ay nakakasama.
True.
Lamang to ng sobrang screen time or consumption of media. At ano pa ba, Dr. Yusores?
Alright. So, meron din tayong tinatawag na overconsumption sa energy use, no? Overuse of electricity impacts the environment. Kaya ito it tends to damage our environment also. Resource depletion and climate change. Itong impact nito sa sobrang sa energy. Tulad yan, yung usok-usok na yan na nakita ninyo, no? Nagkakaroon ng air pollution. Tapos yung biodiversity na nag-emit ng carbon dioxide. So, talagang kasalanan din natin because of course we appreciate development pero we have to do things in moderation. Tulad yung nakita nyo nakasaksak na yan na marami. And that is true sa mga bahay-bahay ngayon dahil may electric fan na, may laptop pa, may charger pa, everything's here. So, yan. Talagang kailangan lang natin, siguro, okay ang development pero we really have to also to be disciplined na huwag naman natin abusuhin. because at the end of the day, it will come back to us.
Yes, sa atmosphere naman 'yan. Diba? Kaya naman ngayon ang heat index ngayong summer, ngayon pa nga lang nagsisimula na eh. No, dati-rati wala namang ganyang kataas na heat index na tapos nagka-cancel na ng classes because of yung heat, no, coming from kaya mainit na mainit, Dr. Yusores, dahil itong mga iniimit na gas na ito ay binubutas ang ating atmosphere. Unfortunately. Yan, yung mga harmful gases because we are consuming a lot of products and we cannot, of course, ano bang balik niyan? The factories need to consume more energy. Diba? Ayan. Kanina ito na halos na banggit ko na, no? Because of the landfill waste coming from food waste, clothing waste, at makikita natin, tingnan naman natin na sa ating dagat-dagatan. Kasi when we are consuming a lot of products, at kapag binagyo, pupunta yan sa sa ating dagat.
Sa shorelines.
Sa shore. Hindi natin maiwasan kasi once na ang bagyo ay alam naman natin sa Pilipinas, pagdating na ng mga Burr months, ayan na, bagyo sumunod. Tapos magugulat na lang tayo, ba't ang daming mga kalat sa dagat? Kasi hindi naman yun sa atin, no? We are consuming a lot of plastics. Ito nga ang ating example dito, it strained public resources, hindi lang yung dagat at yung ating soil, no? Yung landfill. Kundi syempre, tingnan naman natin ito ay nasa ibang bansa, no, na kung saan naglalakad sa sa city yung mga tao, tapos may garbage bags diyan. Hindi nung puno na yung garbage can. Na halos
hindi natutunaw yan.
Oo, no? Tapos wala eh. Ganun talaga. It strained public resources. Hindi marunong magtapon. Saan ba dapat yan? Kasi ideally, di ba, sa tapunan, kailangan may 3 tapunan yan. Nabubulok, di nabubulok at pwede pang i-recycle. Parang gano'n, no? Merong ganyan. So, kung ganito ang itsura ng basurahan, which is very common dito sa ating bansa o kapag walang disiplina mga tao, talagang mangyayari na it will strain public resources because we are consuming a lot of products but then we don't know how to put it in the right garbage bags or garbage can. Walang waste segregation tawag dyan, no? Yan.
Okay. Ito naman, tulad to kanina nung aking slide number 10 natin, itong environment. Imagine mo yung deforestation, pollution, and biodiversity loss. Sino ngayon ang nakakaramdam ng mga pagbabago kundi tayo at ang mga bagong henerasyon? Imagine nyo, wala na masyadong mga puno. Diba? Sa greenhouse gas emission, yung carbon dioxide, biodiversity, no? Tapos meron pa itong water pollution that may harm the aquatic and human health. So imagine nyo yan. Akala natin, pag nagtapon ka ng basura sa dagat, wala na, tapos na, okay na, natago na. Pero we forgot na meron pang mga nakatira din sa dagat na isda na kailangan natin kainin. So, anong nangyayari pag nagkakaroon ng mga sakit-sakit ang mga isda tapos nakakain natin, sa atin di bumabalik, di ba? So, minsan nagkakaroon ng mga red tide, yan. Sino may kasalanan? So, syempre, tayo rin tao. Kumbaga minsan, hindi natin pinapangalagaan ang ating environment na ito ay binigay sa atin ng Diyos. Wala kasalanan si Lord dito kundi tayo mga tao because we tend to throw things everywhere, no? And of course, pag ganyan, nagkakaroon din ito ng mga respiratory problems, lalong-lalo na sa mga bata. So, kailangan po natin talaga magtulungan para maging maganda itong ating mundo. This is the only place that we have, so we have to take care of our environment, of our, of course, our health.
Yan yung mga epekto ng overconsumption. Yan. Madagdag ko lang, Dr. Yusores, kapag tayo ay tapon ng papel, ito ang nangyayari, no? Deforestation. Kasi, syempre, yung papel, galing niya sa puno.
Oo. Yes,
Kung tayo ay hindi maingat doon sa mga resources natin, sa mga papel na ginagamit natin, yan ang nangyayari. Yan. At ito naman ay talagang, hindi naman natin sa biniblame sila, no? Yung consumerism, marketing influence. Pero ito
yan ang in ngayon.
Kaya, ang sabi nga nung ilan sa aking mga kakilalang mga kabataan, nabubudol daw sila nito because napakaganda naman talaga ng live selling, di ba? Kaya ka nga nagla-live selling para ma-convince mo yung mga consumers. But then, ikaw, bilang isang responsible, maging responsabling consumer. Kasi kahit na gaano kaganda, yung pine-present sa'yo sa Reels, sa TikTok, sa Shopee, sa Lazada, pero dapat pag-isipan nating mabuti. Ito bang mga nais kong bilhin dahil napaka-functional, mga ganyan, o napakaganda, ito ba ay talagang kailangan ko sa bahay? O baka naman isang gamitan lang? Hindi ko na di ba?
Natuwa ka lang.
Tuwa ka lang kasi maganda. Kaya ako personally, iniiwasan ko yung sarili ko dyan. At siyempre kung napanood ko naman at maganda, ang pangalawang tanong, ito ba ay kaya ng budget ko? Kaya pa ba to ng budget ko? At kung ito nga ba ay mapapakinabangan ko ng long term? Kasi dapat when you buy something, it should be long term. Hindi lang yung panandalian kasi magiging parte pa rin siya ng waste o clutter sa bahay. Ayan. So, pero ayun lang, being just responsible consumer, yun lang naman to. Pero epekto pa rin talaga to. Isa sa mga cause, bakit may overconsumption. Ayan. And Dr. Yusores.
Ito, no? Yan, lack of awareness. Actually, hindi na siguro lack of awareness ito, Dr. Aquino Dr. Aquino, kasi lahat naman maraming mga information dissemination na pwede nating makita, mabasa. But let us also, sige, i-discuss na rin natin, no? People are unaware of sustainability impacts. People thought it's just okay to have and hold everything. Excessive buying and hoarding of things. But please let us all be aware that whatever we have, we try or eat in excess, we use more of our resources. Let us learn to use what are important and to acquire less unnecessary things. Okay? So para naman maiwasan din natin yung talagang hindi naman kailangan. Makita mo, paglingon mo sa isang ang daming damit, ang daming bag, ang daming shoes. Diba? Yan ang marami sa atin sa bahay. Kaya minsan nagtataka ka, ang paan naman natin ay dalawa lang, pero ba't ang dami-dami nating sapatos? Minsan, lalo na noong pandemic, doon napansin ng mga tao ng kanilang mga sapatos na napakarami ay hindi na mapapakinabangan kasi nag-peel off na yung mga balat, no? So, tingnan nyo, doon lang nila na-realize they have so much of this.
Yan, tama, no? Kasi yung impact talaga, yung bang pag may binili tayo, hindi lang natin iisipin kung ito nga ba kapakipakinabang o ilang beses ko lang ba to magagamit. Kundi kung ano ang impact nito sa environment. Diba? Kung tinapon ko to, o anong mangyayari. Yan yung sinasabi nating sustainability impact. Yan, makakatulong ito sa ating
kaya dapat matuto na rin tayong mamigay, di ba? Kung anong marami sa bahay, i-distribute na natin, ipamigay na natin kaysa naman sa masira.
Yes.
Maraming walang sapatos, maraming walang damit, maraming, di ba? Let's just share what we have.
Yes. Kasi excess naman. At syempre, isa sa mga dahilan ba't may overconsumption at hindi natin talaga ito may iwasan, yung social and economic factor. So, tinuturuan natin yung ating mga anak, ang ating mga students, family members, huwag basta magpabudol, no, sa peer pressure. Minsan kasi nahiya tayo, di ba? Dahil syempre, lalo na sa mga kabataan. Dahil ngayon, yung ganitong trend, bags or shoes, dapat meron din. No? So, nangyayari yan. Pero para sa akin, of course, the parents, should train or mapagsabihan ng kanilang mga anak na huwag masyadong hindi kailangan magpadala no sa mga uso at sa peer pressure. Mahirap gawin ito, pero kung tuturuan natin ng ating mga anak and family members how to say no politely,
Yes.
I think it will work. Kasi all we need to do is just to be honest, diba? Hindi kailangang bumili kung hindi naman talaga kailangan at hindi rin pasok sa budget. At syempre, Dr. Yusores, economic growth. Pag marami kang pera, at saka lagi, no? Lalo na kung impulsive buyer ka, naku, ang sarap mamili. Lalo na pag sale. Diba? Yung bang, napakasarap ng feeling ng ganon. Kasi marami kang pagkagastusan, diba? So, isa yan sa mga, sa mga dahilan. At yung status symbol. Siyempre, may mga ilan tayong kababayan na, of course, may maintain silang status symbol. Sa pananamit. Diba? Hindi sila basta-basta nagsusuot ng anong damit. Basta dapat branded. Should be branded. Or kung hindi yung status symbol na hindi kakain sa karinderya. Kung hindi sa isang mamahaling restaurant. Because yung status nila, they need to maintain it. Well, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Wag lang sobra-sobra ang consumption. Kasi di ba, kahit kumain ka naman anywhere, kahit maganda pang restaurant, for as long as you eat the right food in the right quantity, walang question. Kaya lang, ang sinasabi lang natin dito, yung sobra-sobra, no, yung over ang pagkonsumo, hindi na nakakatulong ito. Yan. Ano ba ang solusyon, Dr. Yusor?
Okay. Ito na, no? Solutions to overconsumption. Okay, sustainable consumption. Buy only what is needed. Choose eco-friendly products. Let us learn to buy food that are healthy and minimize buying processed food. So, makakabawas na sa ating expenditures. For healthier lifestyle and organic food and vegetables ang ating i-value, no? We learn to follow the reduce. Diba? May mga Japanese na sinabing 3 R's, the reduce. To choose or use things with care to reduce amount of waste generated. And then to reuse involves the repeated use of items or parts of items which still have usable aspect. No? So matuto tayo mag-reduce, mag-reuse, and of course the last, recycle. Use of waste itself as resources waste minimize can be achieved by following the 3 R's. So yun ang importante sa atin, no? So, of course, nakalagay dito sa atin for clearer energy, for eco-labeling, sustainable lifestyle, sustainable marketing, Dr.
Minimizing waste.
Masyado yung
minimizing
waste
and pollution.
Yung mga dark colors, sustainable transport.
Replace respecting biophysical boundaries of the earth.
Yan.
We give respect.
So ito ang dapat natin i-put into consideration. Minsan kasi Dr. Aquino, ang iba kasi gina-justify na lang nila na it will help our economy when we buy things, when we buy products, di ba? Para daw umikot ang ekonomiya. Kaya lang, again, it should be done in moderation and when necessary.
Yes. Yan, totoo yan. Salamat, Dr. Yusores, for emphasizing that important reminder. Kasi totoo naman, no? We need to balance everything. Hindi dapat yun, no? Na because of economy, sige lang gastos.
Sige lang,
Ayan. And solusyon to overconsumption. Kanina nabanggit na natin that pag unaware no, ang isang tao tungkol diyan. One way to empower them to be aware of the effects of overconsumption is through education and awareness. Kaya itong ginagawa natin ngayon, Dr. Yusores, meron tayong webinar about tackling overconsumption is to help our Filipino families be aware of what's happening. Kasi minsan, di ba, pag hindi sila aware, hindi nila ma-realize na itong ginagawa pala nilang ito, pagtatapon ng mga pagkain, ay ano pala yan? Hindi nakakaganda, hindi lang sa pamilya, kundi sa environment. Kaya naman, ini-encourage namin ng bawat isa na itong aming recorded webinar na to, kasama ang aming mga experts, ay pag-aralan natin, pwede nating i-share ito, no? Sa ating school, sa family, para matutunan nila ano ba ang responsible consumption. Yan. Teach responsible consumption in schools and communities. So, tulad ng ginagawa namin ni Dr. Yusores. Kaya nga maganda yung mga webinars kasi siya po ay na-preserve. Meron tayong recorded video na pwede nyo ulit-ulitin, no? Para ma-review ninyo anong ibig sabihin ng mga overconsumption. And we need to empower individuals to make informed choices about consumption by sharing this information at mapag-usapan sa loob ng bahay. At nabanggit kanina ito ni Dr. Yusores, emphasize the reduce in the 3 R's. No? Reduce, reuse, recycle. Kumbaga, first level, reduce, tulad ng nabanggit kanina, kung di naman kailangan, huwag nang bilhin. Reduce expense, reduce clutter at home. Diba? Kasi, syempre, when you buy something, in the near future, you need to reuse it. Diba? And the last part is recycling. Kung mare-recycle mo pa, I mean, ayaw naman na natin, tamad na tayo, patatapon na lang natin yan or i-donate sa mga pwedeng mag-recycle. And then plan events related to how home economics help families tackle overconsumption. Itong ating ginagawa ngayon na webinar, it's one of the events. Kaya nga may celebration lagi yearly ng World Home Economics Day. Kaya naman tayo sa PATHESCU and of course in Usapang Pantahanan YouTube channel, we emphasize itong mga ganitong topics na mapag-usapan. Dami na nating topics noon pa. No?
Yes,
started. At syempre, ang dami din namang topics na napag-uusapan na sa internet. I-research nyo lang about overconsumption. Ang dami-dami yun ang malalaman. And incorporate projects or lesson on overconsumption in curricula. Sa mga ating mga teachers na nakikinig ngayon, we highly encourage you to incorporate projects or lessons on overconsumption. So it depends kung ano yung mga proyekto na pwede niyong ipagawa sa inyong mga estudyante. Like most of the time, it's recycling, di ba? Upcycling. Baka meron pang ibang ideas. Kasi ang overconsumption po, hindi lang tungkol dito sa mga decluttering o sa mga bagay na pwedeng gamitin uli, kundi we can also talk about health. No? Kasi, syempre, sabi nga natin kanina, pag tayo ay kumukonsumo na sobra pa sa pangangailangan natin, that's overconsumption. You can talk about screen time. Paano ba natin ma-manage screen time at home and in personal level sa mga estudyante natin? At marami pang iba. Yan. So, ano pa ba ang solusyon, Dr. Yusuf?
Okay. So, ito yan, government and corporate responsibility. Implement policies to reduce waste and promote sustainability. So, makakatulong ito para sa no poverty, tapos meron tayong zero hunger, meron tayong a good health and wellness or well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation,
affordable.
Number 7, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable
Sustainable.
cities and communities. Ito naalala ko kung napanood mo, Dr. Fem, kahapon may isang nagtayo ng garden sa BGC na nag-encourage sila ng mga partners. Yan. And then, of course, the responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, place and justice,
Peace and justice.
strong institutions, and partnership for the goals. These are the global goals for sustainable development. So, actually, pwede tayong one of these, we can be partners, we can also help, lalo tayong mga home economists. No? Marami tayong pwedeng gawin para makatulong, para maging maganda ang ating pamumuhay. And of course, para din maiwasan ang mga na darating pang mga nakaka-affect sa atin because of we are forgetting to take caring of our environment. Kasi actually lahat ito, it boils down from caring the environment.
Kaya nga dapat ang gobyerno and corporation, they need to be mindful of, alam ko naman mindful sila dito sa global goals na to, no? Yung sustainability development goals. Pamantayan talaga nila ito. Kaya dapat ang kanilang mga polisiya o mga programa na ini-implement ay akma dito sa
naka-gear toward this.
No? Lalong na dun sa SDG number 11 and 12. Diba? Have a sustainable cities and communities, and responsible consumption and production. Yan yung parang tina-target natin para maiwasan natin yung overconsumption.
Yes.
Ayan. So, in conclusion, teachers, and of course to all our listeners, overconsumption is a major issue. Hanggang ngayon, matagal na tong issue.
Yes.
Affecting individuals, society, and the planet. That's why addressing its causes requires a shift towards mindful consumption. Yung pinag-iisipan natin, yung ating bibilhin. Hindi lang basta bili tayo ng bili kasi nagandahan tayo. Sale siya. Di ba? Most of the time, na-attract tayo sa sale. Kailangan po ay isipin natin what would be the long-term impact of this purchase. Hindi lang sa financial, kundi sa environment. Parang we always relate it to the environment. Parang naalala ko tuloy, if I'm going to eat this, sige, para ibang ibang aspeto, itong masarap na pagkain na to, will it lead me to good health?
Yes.
Lalo na yung mga iced tea. Hindi yung iced tea, it's milk tea.
Di ba nauso yan? Di ba?
Puno ng mga preservatives. I'm not
Kaya
against.
dumaming diabetic.
Kaya lang, syempre, pag yung mga kabataan natin may nahihilig sa mga ganitong drinks instead ng water, so nai-strain yung kidney nila, maraming sakit. Yan. That's why education, policy changes, and personal responsibility are key to a sustainable future. So, hindi lang muna nakasalalay sa edukasyon, sa awareness, sa gobyerno, nakasalalay din yan sa ating choice. Yung responsibility natin as an individual, as a consumer. Kailangan dun pa lang sa level ng personal level, may atin pong nasusolusyonan na yan. Kung lahat ng tao, ganyan po ang mindset,
dapat
maraming masisave. Yan. Kaya naman, for this webinar, ang haba ng ating discussion, and I'm sure you're looking forward for our webinar today na mag-start ngayong araw na to, no? And tulad ng nabanggit natin, we are blessed to have 4 wonderful experts, resource speakers to help us understand more about overconsumption. And Dr. Yusores, can you please introduce our first speaker?
Okay, our first speaker is Dr. Adelaida B. Mayo, University of the Philippines, Diliman. She'll be discussing sustainable space use, energy efficiency, and eco-friendly technologies. Dr. Adelaida B. Mayo is a highly respected educator, interior designer, and scholar whose contributions have significantly shaped the fields of home economics and interior design in the Philippines. With a career spanning decades at UP Diliman, she has held key leadership roles, including serving as Dean of the College of Home Economics and President of the Council of Interior Design Educators. She has been recognized for her excellence in teaching and public service, receiving the UP Professorial Chair Award in 2022 and was elevated to Fellow of the Philippines Institute of Interior Designer in 2018. A dedicated advocate for gender inclusivity and cultural relevance in design, she has delivered numerous lectures and webinars on interior spaces, safety, and wellness. Her lifelong dedication to education and design was recently honored with the 2024 Lifetime Achievement Award in the Home Economics from PATHESCU. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Adelaida B. Mayo, our first speaker.
Yes, and our second speaker is none other than Dr. Jude Charel B. Paez from Cebu Technological University. So Dr. Jude Charel B. Paez is a distinguished educator and specialist in home economics technology with subspecialty in bread and pastry production, cookery, and housekeeping. Currently an associate professor at Cebu Technological University Tuburan campus, she has built a strong academic and professional career, earning multiple postgraduate degrees, including a PhD in technology management, and his dedication to teaching and research has been recognized with the Most Outstanding Faculty Award from CTU Tuburan in 2023. Actively engaged in professional organizations such as PAFTE and PAGE, Dr. Paez remains committed to advancing vocational education and training, shaping the future of home economics and technology in the Philippines. Our second speaker, Dr. Paez, we're going to talk about supporting and using more sustainable transportation option. Dr. Yusores, sino ang ating third speaker?
Okay. Our third speaker is Dr. Sir Joa H. Jao from the University of Mindanao, Bigos College. He will be talking on responsible food consumption, embracing a plant-based diet, sustainable and healthy lifestyle. Joa Herferves Jao is a dedicated educator and leader in technology and livelihood education, PLE, with a strong focus on home economics. Currently serving as the VTED program head of the University of Mindanao, Bigos College, he has been instrumental in shaping technical and vocational education. Holding a Master of Arts in Education, major in PLE, and currently pursuing a PhD in Technology Education Management. He is committed to advancing the field through research and practice. His contributions have been recognized with multiple awards, including the Most Outstanding PLE TVL Educator from POTTE Incorporated in 2024. An active member of several professional organizations, he serves as auditor for PATHESCU and Public Relations Officer of HITAP, continuously working to enhance home economics education in the Philippines. Our third guest speaker, Mr. Joa H. Chao from University of Mindanao, Bigos College.
And our last speaker for episode 1 ng ating World Home Economics Webinar Series 1 is none other than Sir Renz Robert E. Salvador from IRIS or Julio Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology. So, Sir Renz Robert E. Salvador is a distinguished educator and administrator specializing in industrial education with a focus on food and education. So, currently serving as the College Associate Dean and Department Head for the Bachelor of Technology and Livelihood Education Program at Eulogio Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology, or IRIS. He plays a vital role in shaping academic programs and institutional policies. He holds a Master of Arts in Industrial Education, majoring in Hotel and Restaurant Management, and has completed academic requirements for his Doctor of Education in Educational Management. With extensive experience in research and training, he has conducted and attended numerous seminars on food innovation, home economics, and educational leadership. His dedication to the field has earned him various accolades, including recognition from PATHESCU and POTE. As a committed member of several professional organizations, he continues to contribute to the advancement of technical and vocational education in the Philippines. And Sir Renz Robert E. Salvador, we're going to talk about plant-based bagoong with utilization of dragon fruit for pigmentation. Yan. So, yan po ang ating apat na resource speakers. And of course, hindi na natin patatagalin, Dr. Yusores. We will first hear from Dr. Adelaida Mayo.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar titled Sustainable Space Use, Energy Efficiency, and Eco-Friendly Technologies. This is part of the webinar series with the theme Tackling Overconsumption. I'm Dr. Adelaida V. Mayo, an Associate Professor of the UP Diliman College of Home Economics. I wish to thank PATHESCU for the opportunity to be part of this webinar series. I'd like to thank you all for your time and interest in joining us. So let us begin. This webinar, titled Sustainable Space Use, Energy Efficiency, and Eco-Friendly Technologies, is designed to provide information on how to tackle overconsumption in interior spaces, specifically in relation to managing home interior spaces and addressing sustainability and energy conservation in the home. I've organized this webinar with this following outline. I've already given an introduction. I will present objectives, definition of terms, give you strategies on how to avoid overconsumption in the home by the following parameters: evaluating home spatial needs, utilizing sustainable energy, adopting eco-friendly technologies. So what are the objectives of this webinar? First is to define what overconsumption in home interior spaces means and its implications on sustainability and energy conservation. To identify strategies on how sustainability and energy conservation can be achieved as part of tackling overconsumption. And to recommend eco-friendly technologies that will avoid overconsumption. Now, you may all know already that the United Nations came up with several sustainable development goals, among which is the UN SDG 12, which states that responsible consumption and production is the main international policy tool with goals to abate the impact of overconsumption. It is through this inspiration that I've organized this webinar. So let's define certain terms: overconsumption, sustainability, eco-friendly technologies. What is overconsumption? It refers to excessive use of something, a situation where consumers overuse their available goods and services to where they can't or don't want to replenish or reuse them. As you look at the picture here, you can see a room filled with decor, a lot of artworks. Maybe some would perceive it as not inspiring, but we all know that perception is very subjective. But when you involve a lot of buying new things, that would matter, especially when you think about sustainability. A long term pattern of overconsumption in any region or ecological system can cause a reduction of natural resources, often resulting in environmental degradation, climate change, and biodiversity loss. You have heard a lot about the concept of carbon footprint, right? When there is when you do a lot of buying or importing objects, especially now we have access to online shopping, we are adding to the carbon footprint, and that would cause a reduction in natural resources and deplete the environment. Now, overconsumption in the home may pertain to acquiring things more than what you need, such as interior decor and accessories. It may also refer to wasting energy, such as leaving lights on in unoccupied rooms. Now, defining sustainability, on the other hand, refers to avoidance of depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance. So you see the interconnection between overconsumption and sustainability. The object of sustainability or objectives of the sustainability are the following. First, to reduce consumption of non-renewable resources, minimize waste, and create healthy, productive environments. Now you see this dining table. The wood here was derived from fallen trees, especially during typhoons, like the typhoon Ondoy. So many trees fell, no? And instead of throwing them away or leaving them to rot, they were recycled. They were used to create furniture pieces such as this one. Sustainable space use in the home involves reducing energy consumption, water usage, and waste. You can do this by using energy efficient appliances, optimizing natural light, and reusing materials. So check out the accessories here, the lighting fixtures, like all those glass which came from old huge bottles, no, that were converted into lighting fixtures, as well as for the plates, no, to ward off mosquitoes and the like. And you see all those plates that are no longer used or maybe acquired from a thrift shop. They were used as decor. Sustainable materials refer to reclaimed wood, recycled plastics, and glass. It also refers to upcycled waste materials such as PET bottles, food cans, and throwaway furniture and other objects. We will go into the definition of those later on, like what's upcycled, what's recycled, what's the difference between the two. Eco-friendly technologies. They refer to sustainable materials, efficient lighting, and natural light. They also include the technology of recycling, upcycling, restoration, conservation, rehabilitation, and adaptive reuse. Like in this case, the upper pictures, you would see a room that is no longer very functional because it became a storeroom and there's so much clutter in it. But it was transformed into an entirely functional room that is so inspiring. And look at the chair here, the very old bar chair that was already stained and worn out through time, was reused and rehabilitated, refurbished, and it looks very new. So the owner need not buy a new chair. So that's part of rehabilitation, that's part of restoration, that's part of reuse. How to avoid overconsumption in the home. Now, the first thing that one needs to do is to evaluate one's current home special needs. Remember that our special needs will change over time, especially when the household members, the profile of the household members change. No? Like let's say in a family of 10, some will be getting married until the number of the members will be reduced into 5, and then later on it will just be the parents who will be there, or maybe the youngest child. So it is important to evaluate what would be the function of the existing rooms. Like, for instance, the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, the bedroom, toilet and bath, laundry, and utility area. You need to consider so many things, reflect on things, ask yourself, do the furniture, fixtures, and accessories in the room continue to serve their original function? Like maybe there used to be an exercise equipment, but the person who used to use that is no longer around. Maybe that person got married already. So do you still need that in that particular room? Take note there are two types of spatial function. You have the utilitarian function and the non-utilitarian function. When you refer to utilitarian function, that means the physical and the physiological needs for the space. And for the non-utilitarian function, it would refer to the psychological and spiritual needs for that space. The utilitarian function would, for example, would address our spatial needs such as a place for rest and a space for study or work. Like in this case, for the bedroom, that's your space for rest. And that area, the picture below that, would refer to the space for study and for work or even for entertainment. So that is very utilitarian or very physical. When you talk about physiological, it would refer to the reach, like anthropometrics, can the user have access to cupboards in the kitchen without any difficulty, or is the ergonomic chair very functional, like the person who uses it would have back pains and the like. That's very utilitarian. But how about non-utilitarian function? Now, this addresses our psychological and spiritual needs by incorporating spaces that reflect personal significance, such as areas to display family photos that evoke pride for family and designated spots for prayer. Now, that picture above is a wall along the staircase, which show a grouping of family photos. Similarly, the one at the bottom left would have family portraits located in the foyer. So Filipino families love that, to display family portraits. And the other picture is a prayer room. There are some homes that designate spots or areas in the home for prayer or for meditation. So those areas would be referred to or considered as non-utilitarian, or spaces that provide non-utilitarian function. So you see that it's not only the physical or physiological needs that are addressed by spaces, but also our spiritual and psychological needs. So there are other things to consider when you want to evaluate or try to avoid overconsumption. Is the room well organized, and is it easy to maintain? So when you're talking about maintenance, you check out the finishes of the room. Is the floor easy to maintain and easy to clean? Do you have enough storage space? And do you have sufficient storage space, and do you maximize its use? Oftentimes, there are people who have enough storage space but do not maximize their use. It is always important to review the things that you have, the objects that you have acquired through the years. Do you still need them? Maybe you can donate them to people who need them more, or people who can't afford to buy them and would be just delighted if you share it with them, right? And that would be a big help to unclutter your area. Is the room well ventilated? You know that the rooms with very high indoor air quality would also help in uplifting one's spirit. Like if just imagine yourself in a very hot room, especially here during the summer, and you are saving on electricity, that would definitely affect your productivity in the room, right? So you have to consider that as well. Make sure that whenever there are windows, you you also maximize the air, no, the air that to ventilate the room. So there, no, if there are windows in the room, what window treatment did you use? Window treatments are also crucial to having enough air or ventilation in the room. Like if you're putting heavy curtains, that would block the air coming in. No, glass curtains, very light curtains would be good. Or if there's too much sun coming in, you may wish to have blinds, no, or Roman shades where you can regulate the light coming in. Is the room well lit? So this has to do also again with windows and with natural lighting coming in. And if the room cannot access natural lighting, like let's say rooms with no windows at all, then superficial lighting is needed. But you have to take note that the lighting fixtures that you put must conserve energy, must later you will find out what is the appropriate lighting or light bulbs to use. Identify the space users. That's also a very important thing you must do. Are there children in the home? Are there older persons in the home? Are there persons with disabilities? Are there persons with allergic rhinitis or other problems, issues relating to space, accessibility, and mobility? Spatial considerations for children. To make spaces both sustainable and children friendly, room layouts must be flexible, using furniture with no sharp edges and easy to maintain. There must be enough room for children to move around. Room must be well lit or well ventilated. Like in these pictures, there is a shelf where the child can easily access whatever toys or books that she's interested to play with or to read during the day. And there are no barriers. See, there's enough space to move around. Furniture upholstery must be stain resistant. Remember, children, they whenever they play or when they want to entertain themselves, they love to draw, use crayons to coloring books, etc. And those things can stain easily if your upholstery, the furniture around is not protected, no? Like cotton chintz is one example of an upholstery or fabric that is stain resistant. Well-lit rooms with furniture that allow children to do activities such as drawing and writing are ideal. I know of someone who has little children, and she wanted to really encourage the children to feel free to go around and not being too she doesn't want to be too strict with the children. She wants them to be creative. So what she did was cover the walls with paper, large pieces of paper, so they can easily draw there, and to prevent the stains on the wall or drawing marks on the wall. Now, considerations for older persons. Furniture layout must allow easy navigation around the room. Room must be well ventilated and well lit. I guess all rooms, no, in all types of persons, no, the rooms must be. It is ideal for rooms to be well ventilated and well lit. Furniture should have no sharp edges. There should be minimal accessories as much as possible. So definitely overconsumption is not, it should not be applied. You don't over decorate a room with older persons. There, see the in the pictures, you see more spaces to navigate around. Now, for older persons, no barriers, no blocking their way. And when it comes to restrooms and kitchen, make sure that especially when the older person is already having difficulty with sitting or bending, grab bars must be installed to make sure that they get support when they use the restroom. In the kitchen is also important that the finishing materials would be non-slip. The flooring material should be non-slip, and all the things around there must be easily accessible to them and safe. And the heights of the kitchen counters, the cupboards must be accessible to them. Likewise, for persons with disabilities, just like for older persons, spaces must be barrier-free. Furniture layout should allow easy mobility. There should be minimal accessories. Furniture must be easy to clean. Room must be well lit and well ventilated. You know that the persons who are visually impaired, I remember my former colleague who did her master's in California, where her thesis dealt with older persons and persons with who are visually impaired. Now that there are some who are visually impaired who could not see actual colors of objects or things, so they were required to wear rose colored glasses now, because that's how already they view things, no? So remember that it's really important to have barrier free environments, because if you have so many things, sometimes they cannot distinguish an objects from one another because of that disability in viewing things, among which is color. Okay, so here are examples again of spaces where they are barrier free and not too much, very minimal decor, not too much accessories around. So similar to the pictures of the restrooms that I showed earlier, toilet and bath should provide grab bars. Flooring material must be non-slip. Okay, here are more examples of toilet and bath with grab bars. How about special considerations for persons with allergic rhinitis? Do you know that persons with allergic rhinitis, they keep on sneezing whenever there are dust, and they get really sick, no? It's terrible when they experience a lot of this allergens around, and dust is one major thing, and also dust mites, no? Those are tiny insects that can thrive on dirty sheets, no? So So it is important to have minimal soft furnishings such as area rugs, carpets, or throw pillows, curtains. They are all dust gatherers, no, in the bedroom. Okay, so minimal soft furnishings, and rooms must be easy to clean. Interior accessories must be minimal to avoid dust to accumulate. Bed linens must be frequently washed to avoid bed mites. So here are more examples of bedrooms for persons with rhinitis. Let's go now to how to utilize sustainable energy in the home. As mentioned earlier, no, we have it is so very important to have good and proper lighting in the home, most especially where major tasks are being conducted there. As much as possible, natural lighting during the day is best since it helps conserve energy. So if you can avoid turning on the light because there's enough illumination coming from natural lighting from the windows, then well and good. That will conserve a lot of energy. Change your incandescent bulbs to LEDs. You know that LEDs use much less energy than incandescent bulbs because the diode light is much more efficient power wise from filament light. LED bulbs use more than 75% less energy than incandescent light. So we have here a lot of available types of LED bulbs. They come in that kind of bulb, the one in the left, and they come in tubes. They come in candle shaped bulb, no, which is very interesting because old old lamps, old chandeliers would require those shapes, no, which they used to have incandescent bulbs. But now, since there are available LED bulbs that have been designed to for those old types of fixtures, then you don't need to change those fixtures, only the bulbs. Windows play a major role in maintaining proper home ventilation. They allow fresh air to replace stale indoor air, ensuring a healthy environment. Fresh air also helps reduce moisture. One can also conserve energy by regularly opening windows instead of turning on the air conditioner or electric fan for hours. Well-organized layout in the home should be able to offer safety from various elements and threats and save energy as well. Just take a look at that extension cord there where there's so many plugged in, and wires that would be crossing would be found across the room and the floor, which would cause tripping. No, remember to check that out and prevent from having those kinds of risks. No, that may injure people who use that room. Saving on energy, what we all know that turning off lights when you're not using the room, or unplugging appliances, that especially when you leave the house, and don't leave the house that where appliances are plugged in. You'll never know what will happen. No, we always see in the internet some of the videos that where fire had been caused by plugged appliances that just trip, no, yung electric, um those are weird accidents, no, that happen. Now let's see how to adopt eco-friendly technologies in the home. When you talk about environment friendly or environment preferably products, we're also referring to sustainable materials. And these are local materials, durable materials, reused objects or materials, upcycled objects, materials. Local materials are home interior furnishings that are locally manufactured. Interior construction materials that are locally available. Durable materials refer to reclaimed wood, meaning wood that came from old houses, no, that are very durable, mga ancestral houses, salvage materials from old houses and old sites, even antique furniture and interior accessories will also have durable materials like this screen here, no? The Nara. We can't anymore have Nara, but from old furniture we can salvage them, or even Nara flooring, no, from old houses, they can be reused. When you talk about reused objects or materials, reuse is the practice of using an item, whether for its original purpose or a different one, rather than discarding it. In waste management, reuse means finding new uses for items that would otherwise be discarded, extending their lifespan and minimizing the need for new materials and energy intensive processes. Now look here, look at the dresser table here. The one on the left is an old one, and the one on the right is a new one. So if you're so tired of your old furniture, you can refurbish it or rehabilitate it, reuse it instead of buying a new one. You'll never know that that old furniture has very durable material, especially if you inherited it from your grandma parents or from even from your parents, no? um they wouldn't have bought it, no, especially our grandparents. They value their money's worth, no, so they really buy quality furniture and even saved up for it. Here's another example of reused old furniture. Now, I had a special projects class, and our students did the rehabilitation of a center for sexually abused children. Now, in this picture, you see a bedroom on the left side of the left side that exists when we first encountered the place. Their beds, no, the beds of the children were double deck with no guard at the side, no, so it was very risky for the person occupying the upper part of the bed, no, they can easily fall off, no. So what we did was reused that beds, the double beds, but redesigned it in such a way that the students added those guards, no, to block, so for safety, and came up with a concept and followed the theme of flora and fauna. In this case, the makahiya. So you see the design also echoing on the guard of the bed. So see how nice old furniture can be transformed into something new, and like how recycling or upcycling has been defined or will be defined. It has a higher value, no, from compared to the original one. Here's another one, another version of the table of the beds, no, the double deck, converted into something new. I mean, they look new, no. This time, the theme that they used was the anahaw leaves. So upcycling and rehabilitating furniture instead of buying new ones would provide, aside from conserving energy, meaning that you don't add on to the carbon footprint, but you even come up with a better product, no, like in this case the beds look so new, so fabulous compared to the older ones, and you get to save a lot of costs, no? Here's another example, the chairs, the dining chair. Um, they rehabilitated the dining chair. The ones before looked so gloomy, and so they painted it and they added cushions, no, seat cushions with pastel colors, no, to brighten up the room. This is also found in that Center for Sexually Abused Children that my students did. This is also there in the same space, in the same center. So rehabilitate interior spaces that are no longer uplifting. Just imagine a space that looks so gloomy, no? So when it comes to lighting, no, even if you have enough lighting but the color is so drab, it won't help. No, it will just reduce the lighting. So it's important to have light colors, no, in the interior, and of course using LED for to add on to conserving energy. The stained glass window here, they did not order or have someone provide stained glass for the windows. The students did that themselves. They painted the glass, no, with glass paint, no, that was bought from a bookstore. And what they did was they flushed using the LCD projector. They flushed their design on the glass so that they didn't have to draw it, from scratch. So the drawing was flushed on the glass and they painted whatever drawing was flashed on the glass. Very, very practical and innovative. Similarly, in that same center for sexually abused children, we found the laundry area very, very dark, and the flooring looks slippery. So what the students did, thanks to the sponsors, no, who donated tiles and other construction materials, they helped renovate, change the roofing so that it will be more skylight effect. So there will be more natural lighting coming in, and the flooring is no longer slippery. And even the counters, no, were treated with tiles. So everything became very efficient. Now let's see the difference between recycling and upcycling. I know a lot of people get confused. They use recycling when it's actually upcycling, or they use upcycling when it's actually recycling. So what's the difference between the two? Recycling transforms waste into new materials or products, while upcycling creatively repurposes materials into something of higher quality or value, often without breaking them down. Because when you do recycling, oftentimes you don't see the original form anymore, no, because they have been broken down. Like, let's say glass bottles that have been melted and then turned into another new form, no, so you won't see the original form. For upcycling, you can still see the original form. Maybe the finish will be different. Maybe it will be repainted, but there's still, you're not breaking them down. Just like the cheese grater or vegetable grater that you see here, that had been transformed into lighting fixtures. Now, for the one at the bottom, it is obvious that they were bowls, no, but the original form is no longer seen because it's covered with paper that has been twined and uh, pasted around it, no, to cover the whole bowl. That you won't see the original bowl. Now, we have here a picture of interior designer Willie Garcia. She's a multi-awarded interior designer and product designer. No, her forte is to recycle and upcycle at the same time furniture. Why do I say recycle? Recycle plastic waste, those packaging plastics and packaging, food package foil. No, they they have been pieces by pieces. They've been cut, no, and then rolled, and then transformed into ropes for weaving to be used in rehabilitating old furniture. She collects furniture pieces that are no longer have upholstery. No, you only the frame is left, and she uses those recycled plastic waste converted into ropes as woven materials. Now she weaves them to create that you see in the picture. So it's very innovative, and she won several awards internationally already. She exhibited her products also abroad. And one time she had a big exhibit. She joined an international exhibit that was held in UP Diliman, no, in the Vargas Museum. We were able to see that, and we were so impressed by how she did it. Now, recycled paper, like just what was shown a while ago. So here again, you cannot find the original look of the paper. We have here another version of a bowl and the coasters, glass coasters. Recycled food packaging. This is the one I mentioned to you about. They've been converted into those ropes, no, that Willie Garcia used for her woven, for weaving for the upholstery of the chairs. Now, it can also be used for decorative items like this one, in the right, immobile. And newspapers recycled into furniture material. Yes, you may say that you can maybe determine it's made of paper, but when they rolled already and organized into shapes that would form a chair, a stool, a base of a table, no, then they're no longer in their original form. For upcycling, you can still see the actual form of the original object. So you reuse that object, discarded objects that are supposed to be throwaways, no? You reuse that in such a way as to create a product of higher quality or value than the original. This pertains to the opportunity to turn trash or waste material into a new product, such as these old CD racks. We know that we don't use anymore. No, we seldom use CD racks. So what do we do about it? Now, I took them, I found an idea and used it as my planter. So I got small pots and use it as a planter to organize the plants, and they looked okay. So they're no longer an addition to the clutter in the house. There are other ways to upcycle in the home, like if in case you need a different dining table or something, a coffee table that would be a conversation piece. It's easy to go to a thrift shop or to a place where they sell doors or even construction materials that are no longer useful or acquired from old houses. Then old doors may be transformed into a tabletop, like in this case a dining tabletop, a coffee tabletop, or even a study tabletop. Old drawers, no, interesting drawers that have been salvaged, no, also in swap meet or other shops, no, especially those with interesting carving, or like in that case on the left side from an old card catalog in the library. They can be repurposed as organizers. There's so many uses of for old drawers, like in this case, planter boxes. It's just interesting if you wish to do crafts and apply stenciling. No, stenciling is applying you paint motifs, no, and from cutouts of plastic. Then you paint the material, the figure there, like what they did here. And then here's another version of that library catalog drawer, no, turned into an organizer. Or a drawer that was transformed into a bed for your beloved doggy or puppy. If you're familiar with wooden wine racks, they appear this way, no, but in this case, it was transformed into a costume jewelry rack. They just placed a molding on top, no, to you can't figure anymore that it's a wine rack. Now, you can also upcycle yardstick if you want to save on costs. So this is an interesting strategy. Instead of a bulletin board, a cork board, or that you put on the wall, a yardstick can also be used, and then applying the clothespin, no, to clip announcements, information, or schedules, that important notices that you want to remember. No, you can do that too. Even unused lunchbox. If you have a child who no longer uses their lunchbox, and if you can't give it away, then just reuse it as a storage equipment, like, or tool like this one. See, there are a lot of lunch boxes. It's a form of organizing things. Waste cans, no, they're very popular for upcycling. Waste cans can be used, no, upcycled into organizers, like in this case, can be organizing cutlery in the kitchen and other kitchen paraphernalia. Wine bottles. No, there was a time when my sister and I we gathered all our wine bottles and painted on them, and we converted it into vases for when we entertain. And some of them we gave away as gifts. Those who received those wine bottles were so happy because it's product of labor of love, with all the painting that we did on it. Now, this is part of a special projects class that was handled by our faculty, also in UP, where the students rehabilitated also a center, transitional space, no, and they used paint buckets. They reused paint buckets and converted it into stools. No, it's so interesting and a fun. It made the space fun, no, for the kids who are users of those space. Similarly, in that same center, they used denim, no, old denim pants as upholstery for sitting area. So they gathered old denims, and it became another conversation piece, no, for the center. Pet bottles. Pet bottles are very popular for vertical wall garden. In this case, in the same center that I mentioned, they use it for the vertical wall garden, and they have herbs. They have different varied a variety of herbs planted on them. So it is very important to organize things. If you are aiming for sustainability and conserving energy, organizing things is very important because it becomes low maintenance. I mean, you're talking about accessibility. It's easier to find things that you need right away. Easy to clean because you know where things are when you organize things, and you know where to properly store them, where you kept them. So this is one thing that we need to remember, because when you organize things, you're avoiding clutter. You know that there are negative effects of clutter. Clutter doesn't just impact the look of a room. It can have serious effects on mental well-being, productivity, and even relationships. Why do we say that? Because when you can't find anything, you get annoyed, you get hot-tempered, especially when you are rushing things. Productivity will be affected as well, because because if you have so many things there and you're looking for something, it delays your work. And sometimes it gets to affect also relationships. Like when somebody adds on to the clutter, then you will get mad to that person, right? When rooms are cluttered, it becomes difficult to use them as intended. A cluttered kitchen counter makes it hard to cook. A cluttered bedroom reduces relaxation and sleep quality. And a cluttered entryway can make it difficult to come and go with ease. So, clutter can create a sense of chaos that distracts from the aesthetic and functionality of a space. Excessive items can overwhelm the design and make the room less welcoming and organized. So that would say that clutter can really cause inefficiency in a space. So remember to organize things according to their frequency of use. The more frequent appliances or objects that you use, they have to be very accessible. You can store away those that are not frequently used. So I've mentioned a lot already about strategies to avoid consumption. So allow me to synthesize this. To avoid overconsumption, practice mindful spending, prioritize needs over wants, and explore alternatives like borrowing, repairing, or buying secondhand before purchasing new items. The following are like last tips that you should bear in mind. Mindful spending and prioritization. Make sure you define your needs versus wants. Make sure that you know which ones are essential. Those wants, or maybe in the wish list, can come later if they become essential as well. Explore alternatives to buying new, repair instead of replace. Buy secondhand, donate or sell unused items to avoid clutter. Now look at the pictures here, the before and after. See how nice the couch has been transformed, no, after repairing it, reupholstering it. Reduce waste, use reusable items, extend life of your home furnishings. Like was mentioned earlier, and here are other examples. Chest of drawers, before and then after. And the last, be mindful of your consumption habits. Shop locally. Be mindful of energy use. Reduce plastic use. Support sustainable brands. So here are references that you can refer to in case you need to read more about sustainability, eco-friendly building materials, and of course, the role of eco-friendly interior design. So thank you everyone for listening. I hope you learned a lot from what I shared. Have a good day, everyone.
Good morning everyone or good day, magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Yes, welcome to today's webinar on supporting and using more sustainable transportation options, a path to a greener future. This is proudly brought to us by the Philippines Association for Technology and Home Economics of State Colleges and Universities Incorporated. This is an organization committed to promoting sustainable practices and innovative solutions for a healthier planet. So this webinar is in the celebration of the World Home Economics 2025. So again, magandang araw po and welcome to this another webinar series. So why are we here today? So as the world faces increasing challenges due to climate change and environmental degradation, the way we move, whether by car, bus, train, or bike, it plays a critical role in reducing our collective carbon footprint. Today's discussion will explore and impactful ways we can transition to more sustainable transportation options that benefit not just the environment but also our communities and economies. Ika nga, kung kapag hindi natin inalagaan ang ating kalikasan, if we will not take good care of our environment, then the environment will not take good care of us. So we need to remember that it is in our hands that the future of our environment lies. So what's in store for us today. So, throughout this session, we will cover the environmental and social benefits of sustainable transportation, real world case studies of cities leading the way, the challenges and opportunities in adopting green mobility, practical strategies for individuals, communities, and policymakers. So, hello everyone. Before we continue, allow me to formally introduce myself. I am Dr. Jude Charles Benzuela Paez, and I am an associate professor from Cebu Technological University to Brand Campus. So let's get started because we are excited to embark this journey toward a more sustainable future and we're thrilled to have you with us this day. So, transportation is an essential part of our daily lives, connecting people, goods, and services across the globe. However, the way we move has a significant impact on our environment and public health. This brings us to the question why we should prioritize sustainable transportation. So, the environmental impact of traditional transportation. So currently, the transportation sector accounts for about 25% of global carbon dioxide emissions, with a large portion coming from cars, trucks, and aviation. Fossil fuels powered vehicles release greenhouse gases that contribute to global warming, air pollution, and climate change. So the continued use of these traditional modes of transportation puts immense pressures on our environment, leading to the rise of temperatures, unpredictable weather patterns, and increase in natural disasters. So what's the impact on public health? So it is not just about the environment, diba? It also has an impact to our public health. So air pollution from vehicle emissions leads to respiratory diseases, cardiovascular problems, and other serious health issues. According to the World Health Organization, um, out there, air pollution contributes to around 4.2 million premature deaths annually. Urban areas with high traffic congestions often experience the worst effects, disappropriately affecting vulnerable communities. So again, see how how public transportation or how not this how transportation affects one's health, no? Kung lahat po tayo dito in our country, we own a vehicle, then lahat po yan is lahat po ng vehicle are functional, then we know what will happen. So why shifting to sustainable option matters. This is where sustainable transportation comes in. By choosing sustainable alternatives like public transit, biking, walking, and electric vehicles, we can significantly reduce emissions and pollutions. These options are not only eco-friendly but also contribute to healthier communities by improving air quality, encouraging physical activity, 'di ba? So kung sasabihin natin na you want to go to a market, then yung market is malapit lang naman po sa bahay na tinitirhan mo, instead na gumamit ka ng motorcycle mo or gumamit ka ng sarili mong sasakyan, why not walk for a while, 'di ba? In that, then you are also having a very good exercise with your own body naman po. So what's the benefits of shifting to sustainable transportation? So again, it lower carbon footprint, fewer emissions from vehicles powered by clean energy, improve public health, reduce exposure to air pollutants, and healthier lifestyles. So economic savings, lower fuel maintenance costs for individuals and municipalities. Okay. So as I said, Okay, so the environmental impact of transportation. So the transportation sector contributes significantly to global carbon emissions, accounting for about 23% of energy-related CO2 emissions and 15% of all anthropogenic emissions. So again, as I said, transportation is one of the largest contributors to global carbon emissions, playing a critical role in shaping the environmental challenges we face today. As societies grow and economies expand, the demand for transportation increases. But at what cost to our planet? So anong nangyayari sa ating planeta ngayon? Let's take a closer look at the environmental impact of transportation. So this is the scale. So globally, the transportation sector responsibly for about 23% of energy-related carbon dioxide emissions and 15 of all anthropogenic human costs. So pag sinabi nating anthropogenic, meaning it's a human cost emission. These numbers continue to rise, driven by increasing urbanization, population growth, and greater reliance on personal vehicles and freight transport. So, road transportation alone accounts for nearly 75% of the total transportation emissions, with cars, trucks, and buses contributing the majority. So, if kung pumupunta po kayo sa major cities, so makikita po ninyo ang ganitong kalagayan, di ba? So, aviation contributes about 12% of transport related emissions, with air travel growing rapidly each year. So, shipping and freight account for around 9% of the sector emissions, highlighting the global dependency on trade and logistics. So, how fossil fuels drive emissions? Most transportation systems today rely on fossil fuels. So, uh, such, uh, such as gasoline, diesel, which release carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, all potent greenhouse gases that trap heat in the atmosphere. So these emissions contribute not only to global warming but also to poor air quality and environmental degradation. So what is the consequence? No, ano nangyayari? So again, as I said a while ago, climate change, because transportation emissions accelerate the greenhouse effect, leading to rising global temperatures, melting ice caps, and extreme weather events. So air pollution. Okay, climate change, kung titingnan po natin ngayon, no, we are now at the last part of March. Then 'di ba, kung if I could still remember when I was young, 'pag March medyo mainit na yung panahon kasi papasok ng summer. But in today's time, sa last week sa March, may mga maulan-ulan pa, 'di ba? Hindi masyadong gano'n kainit ngayon kasi medyo maulan-ulan. Okay, pero 'pag mainit naman, napakainit talaga ng system, 'no? Oo. So, environmental consequences, we also have the air pollution, emission from vehicles, released particulate matter, and nitrogen oxide, contributing to smog and respiratory illnesses. So, ito naman po yung impact, 'di ba? To one's health, inuubo po tayo, minsan sa paiba-iba ng panahon, nilalagnat po tayo, 'di ba? So, yun yung mga impact, 'di ba? And because of malaki po yung ginagampanan ng transportation natin, 'di ba? Isa po sa mga dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon tayo ng ganitong mga karamdaman. So, biodiversity loss, habitat destruction due to infrastructure expansion, and pollution threatens the ecosystems and wildlife. So, projections for the future. If left unchecked, transportation emissions are expected to increase by nearly 20% by 2050, making it one of the hardest sectors to decarbonize. Without immediate action, the environmental damage caused by the transportation sector will continue to intensify, impacting ecosystems and human health. So to mitigate these environmental impacts, transitioning transitioning to sustainable transportation solutions is very crucial, or shall I say, it's really essential in today's time, whether through expanding public transit, promoting electric vehicles, or encouraging active transportation like walking and biking. So every shift toward greener mobility helps protect the planet. So reducing transportation emission is not just a climate imperative, but it is an investment in a cleaner and healthier future for all. So when it comes to reducing our environmental impact, choosing sustainable transportation is one of the most effective actions we can take. So let's explore these three key types of sustainable transportation options that not only reduce emissions but also promote healthier and more efficient mobility. We have cycling, electric vehicles, and public transportation. So these are the key, no? So sa Japan, for example, no, yes, may cycling po sila, 'di ba? And then uh and then we also have the public transportation naman po. Okay. So we have the cycling. Cycling a zero emission option. So cycling is one of the most environmentally friendly modes of transportation. It produces zero emissions and reduces traffic congestions in urban areas. Not only does cycling help decrease air pollution, but also promotes physical fitness and improves overall public health. So what's the benefit? So no fuel consumptions or emissions no fuel consumption. So, ang benefit po ng pagbibisikleta, again, wala po tayong gasolina, di ba? So, wala po tayong effort lang, di ba? At the same time, you're also, di ba, effort lang, no? Nag-reduce ng traffic at ng noise pollution kasi hindi maingay yung bisikleta. Then again, dahil sa kakapadyak-padyak po natin, it improves cardiovascular health and well-being po. So, isa naman pong types ng sustainable transportation, itong pinaka sikat po ngayon, di ba? Hindi ko na lang po babanggitin yung mga brand. Okay, yes. We have the electric vehicles or the EVs, now reducing carbon footprint. So electric vehicles or EVs offer a cleaner alternative to traditional gasoline-powered cars. So EVs reduce zero tailpipe emissions and significantly lower life cycle emissions, especially when powered by renewable energy sources. With advancement in battery technology and growing infrastructure, so EVs are becoming more accessible and affordable. Na medyo, yes. Yeah, ito na po yung mga sikat-sikat na ngayon, di ba? So what is the benefit of this EV? So lower greenhouse gas emissions compared to conventional vehicle kasi wala ng gasolina ito. So wala po siyang emission na binubuga. Then it reduced dependency on fossil fuels kasi wala ng gasolina. Then potential for 100% clean energy use when charged with renewables. And then the next type naman po na pinaka-common sa atin, ito yung tinatawag nating public transportation. So it's also efficient and eco-friendly. Public transportation systems such as buses, trains, and subways provide an energy-efficient way to move large numbers of people while minimizing individual carbon footprints. A fully occupied bus or train can remove dozens of cars from the road, significantly reducing overall emissions. So halip na sumakay ka with your own car, so why not trying public transportation, di ba? Kasi sa isang car, isa lang taong sasakay. Halimbawa, kasi papunta ka ng trabaho. So, with this note na kapag sa bus naman, maraming makakasakay sa bus. So, halimbawa, so there are 10 people and these 10 people or these 10 persons are owning their car. So, lahat po sila magmamaneho na kanilang 10 sasakyan. So, yung 10 sasakyan na yun, magbubuga yun, di ba, ng carbon dioxide. So sa halip na ganun, so yung 10, hindi natatakbo yung 10 na car, sasakay na lang po sila with the public transportation. So anong benefits nito? It lowers per capita emissions compared to private vehicles, then reduce traffic congestions and air pollutions. increase access to affordable and efficient mobility. So again, by embracing these types of sustainable transportation, whether it is cycling, driving an EV, or using public transit, we can collectively reduce po our environmental impact and pave the way for a greener, healthier future. All right. So we have here the example now, no? The Copenhagen's bicycle superhighway. So this is a network of dedicated bike highways to reduce congestions and emissions. So the impact, no? Increased bike commuting, reduce traffic, and lower pollution traffic. So we also have this Trans-Jakarta BRT system, no? What is this? This is a bus rapid transit system in Jakarta, Indonesia, designed to provide fast, reliable, and high-capacity public transportation operating on dedicated bus lanes. So it reduced traffic congestions then. Then the rise, as I said, the rise of electrical vehicles, no? We have the EVs, we have the example, the Tesla, the Nissan Leaf, these are examples, and meron din po tayong BYD, no? Yes. So, the ordinary car, the traditional car, it uses the fuel, but for the EVs, charging lang po. So the rise of electrical vehicles, so as I yes, more emission, long mile range, quick refuel, expensive lang po yung maintenance lang, no? Okay. Then electric cars, so less emission, short mile range, take hours to recharge, then cheap maintenance. Okay. So what's the benefits of sustainable transportation? Mm. So, overcoming barriers, addressing common challenges. So, benefits of sustainable transportation, environmental, may impact po ito sa ating environment, sa economy, at sa ating sa social life po natin. Okay? So, benefits, it reduce emissions, improve air quality, then for our for the economy naman po, cost savings, it reduce fuel dependency, and for social, it improve public health, reduce traffic congestion. So, yan lahat po yan, nabanggit ko po kanina. Yes, kung titingnan po natin na ano yung ano yun po yung makakabuti po in our world today. Overcoming barriers, addressing common challenges. So, transitioning to sustainable transportation isn't without its challenges. Two of the most significant barriers are infrastructure costs, developing public transit networks, building bike lanes, and installing electric vehicle charging stations require significant investment. So ito po yung mga challenges with our transportation po na gusto po nating mangyari naman po, di ba? Kasi yung EV, magandang EV kasi wala pong emission. Pero yung pinaka-crucial lang nito is yung charging station, di ba? Kasi unlike po with the gasoline station naman, marami po kasing gasoline station per town, pero yung charging station, yes. Public acceptance. People are often hesitant to change habits or switch to unfamiliar transportation modes due to convenience, comfort, or lack of awareness. Ito po yung problema, lack of awareness. Siguro kailangan pa lang natin mag-aral, magmasid, at magbasa po. So what is the solution? So fortunately, there are effective solutions to these barriers naman po. Okay, so government policies, strong regulations, urban planning, and funding for sustainable transportation projects, public awareness campaigns, educating communities on the environmental and health benefits of using greener transportation, then incentives for adoption, offering tax breaks, subsidies, and perks for choosing electric vehicles, biking, and public transit. So let us always remember this, diba? A call to action, diba? Let's make a difference. Every small action counts. Here's how you can be part of the change. Choose green options. Instead of riding your own motorcycle, you may do biking or you may do walking or choose public transportation whenever possible. Then let us always support green policies, no, support green policies, advocate for policies that invest in sustainable transportation infrastructure. Then let us also spread awareness, not fake news. So how do we spread awareness? We need to educate friends, our family, and our community about the benefits of sustainable transportation. So together, we can pave the way toward a greener and healthier future by making conscious transportation choices and supporting the policies that drive positive change. So, thank you for your attention. If you have questions, you may feel free to um, yes, message us naman po. So, to end up, here is the triple benefits for this sustainable transportation. So, sustainable transportation isn't just good for the environment, it also offers a range of benefits that positively impact our wallets and overall well being. Let's take a closer look at how choosing a greener transportation options can lead to a healthier planet, financial savings, and improved health. So, again, it reduces emissions, protecting the environment. So, switching to sustainable transportation methods such as biking, walking, using public transit, or driving electric vehicles significantly lower greenhouse gas emissions. By reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, we cut down on carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and particulate matter that contribute to air pollution and climate change. So saves money, lower transportation costs. So again, sustainable options can also be more cost effective. Using public transportation, biking, or walking eliminates the cost associated with fuel, parking fee, and vehicle maintenance. So, electric vehicles, while having a higher initial cost, it often offer lower long-term experience due to reduced fuel maintenance cost. So, improves. So, this is also another highlight. It improves health, promoting active lifestyle. So, choosing active transportation methods like biking or walking encourages physical activity, leading to a better cardiovascular health, lower stress levels, and reduced risk of chronic diseases. So, additionally, fewer vehicle emissions mean cleaner air, contributing to a healthier environment for everyone. So again, no, to sum it up, by choosing sustainable transportation, we can reduce emissions, save money, and improve public health, creating a win-win situation for individuals and the planet. So let's make greener choices that lead to a healthier and more sustainable future. Once again, I am Dr. Jude Charles B. Paez from Cebu Technological University Tuburan Campus saying thank you for your time today. Thank you for your listening. I hope you have learned something about supporting and using more sustainable transportation options because, again, the environment is not just your concern, but this is everybody's concern. And we can start protecting our environment by choosing or using more sustainable transportation options. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for your time.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to the World Home Economics Day Celebration 2025, organized by the Philippine Association for Technology and Home Economics, the State Colleges and Universities Incorporated, or the PATHESCU, in partnership with Usapang Panhalis YouTube channel. And I am very much privileged to align with my topic on our theme, tackling overconsumption. So, to begin, our discussion for this day will emphasize on responsible food consumption, embracing a plant-based diet, sustainable and healthy lifestyle. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Mr. Joa H. Howe, the program chair for the Bachelor in Technical Vocational Teacher Education of the University of Mindanao Legos College, and also a certified food safety compliance officer, certified food safety protection manager, and also a food product innovation researcher. To start, my talk will highlight educating the home economists on the role of dietary choices in promoting human health and environmental sustainability. With the growing concerns about climate change, food security, and lifestyle related diseases, shifting towards plant based diets offers a practical solution to reduce environmental impact while enhancing well being. This session will discuss the health benefits of plant based nutrition, its role in mitigating climate change, and actionable strategies for adopting sustainable food consumption practices. And we will also gain insights into responsible eating habits that will align with the global efforts, such as the International Federation for Home Economics of 2025's mission of tackling overconsumption for a better world. The objectives of this session is for us, the participants, will gain a clear understanding of the health, environmental, and ethical benefits of responsible food consumption and plant-based diets. Second is for the participants will commit to incorporate at least one plant-based meal per week and reducing food waste. And the third objective is participants, particularly educators, policymakers, and health professionals, will advocate for responsible food consumption practices in their respective fields of specialization. Responsible food consumption is basically an important topic that we need to discuss when we deal on consumption because food is a major and one of the basic needs in order for humans to survive. Responsible food consumption is a critical global issue that will link to health, sustainability, and environmental conservation. With the increasing concerns about climate change, food insecurity, and lifestyle diseases, shifting to a plant based diet and sustainable food practices is a promising solution. This is according to Springman et al. Of 2018. With this talk on responsible food consumption, we have some key points that we are going to emphasize as we go along with our discussion associated with responsible food consumption. The first key point that we are going to highlight is understanding responsible food consumption. Second is the health benefits of a plant based diet, environmental and sustainability aspects in food production, the challenges and barriers in adapting a plant based diet, and also the practical strategies in promoting plant based and sustainable healthy lifestyle. The first key point is understanding responsible food consumption. The moment before we apply the different actionable strategies, we must first understand the concepts in relation to responsible food consumption. Because according to Garnett of 29 et al. 2019, that responsible food consumption entails making informed choices about food production, sourcing, and dietary habits that reduce environmental impact and enhance human well-being. In understanding responsible food consumption, we must know these factors or concepts, which all about minimizing food waste, choosing sustainable and ethically sourced foods, prioritizing plant-based diets over resource-intensive animal products, and considering the carbon footprint of food choices. These are the four main concepts that highlights in order for understand to responsible food consumption. Now, in minimizing food waste is a major global issue with approximately one-third of all food produced being discarded annually, according to FAO 2019. And the responsible consumption also includes mindful food purchasing, proper storage, and utilizing leftovers to minimize waste. So basically, these are actually the reason that why food waste is one of the problem because many consumers are not responsible, especially in managing food that they are preparing. Another key concept is choosing sustainable and ethical sourced foods. Consumers play a crucial role in supporting sustainable agriculture by opting for foods that are locally sourced, organically grown, and produced with fair labor practices, according to Poor and Henesec of 2018. And sustainable diets prioritize plant-based foods as livestock farming contributes significantly to greenhouse gas emissions and deforestation. The third key concept that we need to learn in order for us to understand responsible food consumption is to prioritize the plant-based diets over resource-intensive animal products. Because shifting to a plant-based diet is a key aspect of responsible consumption, particularly in food. Reducing meat intake and increasing plant-based foods can lower the environmental footprint while improving health outcomes, according to Springman et al. Of 2018. And a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, legumes, and whole grains can reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes, according to Dino et al. Of 2017. Well, in the principle that the more the colorful our plate, the more nutritious the food that we are taking, or the more the nutritious meal that we are taking. And indeed, that the more that we incorporate plant-based food in our diet, it will actually reduce the risk of being contracted with chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. Another consideration or key concept that we need to understand responsible food consumption is considering the carbon footprint of the food choices that we are choosing. Responsible food consumption is not just about sustainability, but it is also about ensuring a balanced diet that meets the nutritional needs. And this is one of the core elements why we prepare food in order for us to meet the nutritional need of every individual through the food that we are consuming. And according to Pride of 2010, that a well-planned diet can provide essential nutrients, reduce the risk of malnutrition, and improve overall well-being. So this will now give emphasis on proper meal management. That our meals that is planned ahead of time and well planned, it will result to an improved healthy lifestyle of an individual or a consumer. Another, we have a scenario, for example, that in a school cafeteria, it implements a meatless Monday initiative. So it highlights that in a cafeteria, in a school cafeteria, every Monday, there will be no meat products, but instead, it incorporates plant-based products. So thus, by replacing meat-based meals with a plant-based options, the school not only reduces its carbon footprint, but also promotes healthier eating habits among students. And the more nutritious the food the students are taking, the more they become productive in their studies. And studies shows that such initiatives can significantly cut greenhouse gas emissions and also improve student nutrition. This is according to Springman et al. 2018. The more that we can understand responsible food consumption is that the role of plant-based diets in responsible consumption. Well, basically, A plant-based diet consists of fruits, legumes, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, while limiting or excluding animal products. Research suggests that such diets are nutritionally adequate and contribute to lower risk of chronic diseases and environmental degradation, according to Willett et al. Of 2019. All of these will actually gives us an opportunity that when we embrace plant-based diets in our meals, the more it can lower the risk of having chronic diseases because nutrition or the nutrients, both the macro and the micronutrients, are present in the food that we are taking that is significantly helpful for a healthy body. Now, the second key point in responsible food consumption is the health benefits of a plant-based diet. Again, shifting towards plant-based diets has substantial health benefits. Take note of this. Again, the more that we engage into plant-based diet, it will gives us a substantial health benefits such as prevention of non-communicable diseases, improve gut health and immunity, and longevity and mental well-being. These are the three major benefits if we are embracing the plant-based diet. To start with, prevention of non-communicable diseases, a plant-based diet is associated with lowering the risk of cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and obesity due to its high fiber, antioxidant, and phytochemical content, according to Dino et al. In 2017. So the more that we embrace, the more that we eat plant-based diet, it will associate us by lowering the chances and risk of having cardiovascular diseases, including diabetes and obesity. Because the more plant-based food commodity present in our meal, it has a high fiber composition and antioxidant and also phytochemical content that will contribute more benefits to our physical bodies. And aside from that, according to the Stretch et al. Of 2018, studies show that a Mediterranean style plant based diet reduces cardiovascular risk by 30%. And aside from that, according to Glick, Bauer, and Ye of 2014, that high fiber diets reduce type 2 diabetes risk by improving insulin sensitivity. The moment that we consume high fiber, the more it will aid us to have low chances or lowering the risk of being contracted with type 2 diabetes. The second one is to improve gut health, also immunity. According to MOVA et al. Of 2019, that plant-based foods support gut microbiome diversity, which is crucial for digestion and immune function. So the more that we will embrace into plant-based diet, the more it will highlight and improve the microbiome diversity of our stomach that will actually aid for a healthy and better digestive function, including immunity. And diets rich in fiber and fermented foods enhance gut microbiota, reducing inflammation and boosting immunity. So therefore, the more we embrace plant-based diet or plant-based foods, the more that we may experience beneficial impact to our digestive tracts, including our physical bodies. The third is longevity and mental well-being. It does not simply highlight the medical benefits, or shall we say the physical benefits, that will also contribute mental well-being. A diet rich in plant-based foods is linked to longevity and lower risks of depression and cognitive decline, according to Burke et al. Of 2013. Well, the research being conducted actually resulted that the more that we engage into plant-based foods will link to lowering risk of depression and cognitive decline. So therefore, healthy eating habits will actually make you emotionally stable and at the same time improve our mental well-being. And antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids found in plant-based foods improve cognitive function and reduce neurodegenerative risks. So well, it will actually contribute a more beneficial impact to our physical bodies and including our mental bodies. Just on a point of illustration, in a single scenario, that imagine a middle-aged man diagnosed with hypertension. His doctor advises him to adopt a plant-based diet rich in leafy greens, whole grains, and nuts. And over 6 months, he experiences significant health improvements, including lower blood pressure and increased energy levels. Although he is hypertensive, but his blood pressure was being mitigated and at the same time lowered because of embracing the plant-based diets over the animal-based products. Research supports that plant-based diets can naturally regulate blood pressure and reduce inflammation, according to Pride of 2010. And the third key point in order for us to be responsible food consumers is environmental and sustainability aspects in food production. Again, the environmental and sustainability aspects in food production will actually contribute for us to fully understand the responsibility of food consumption or our responsibility for food consumption. Food production is responsible for approximately 25% of global greenhouse gas emissions, and livestock farming contributes significantly to climate change, according to PORT and NEMSEC of 2018. And shifting to plant-based diets offers environmental benefits that will highlight first, reduction in greenhouse emissions. That according to Springman of 2018, adopting plant-based diets can reduce food-related greenhouse gas emissions by up to 50%. So the more that we will apply or we will use plant-based diets in our consumption, we can reduce food-related greenhouse gases, especially when we cook or when we prepare our food, we are emitting greenhouse gases in order for us to cook our food or in order to break down the food that we are preparing. And livestock production contributes 14.5% of all anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions, according to FAO 2019. The second one is conservation of natural resources. The more that we apply plant-based diet in our meals, we incorporate plant-based foods, we are conserving the natural resources that we have. Producing 1 kilogram of beef requires 15,415 liters of water, whereas producing 1 kilogram of lentils requires only 1,250 liters, according to Mekonnen of Edholwick's track of 2012. So basically, we all know that lentils or the beans serves as an alternative food commodity that we can get protein over those coming from the poultry and the livestock production or produced or animal based. Agricultural land use for livestock could be reduced by 75% if plant-based diets were widely adopted, according to Purin and Nisek of 2018. And the third one is biodiversity protection and reduction of deforestation. Large-scale animal agriculture is a leading cause of deforestation and biodiversity loss, particularly in the Amazon rainforest, according to Barona et al. In 2010. So, well, large-scale animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation because areas coming from forests and rainforests or even in jungles were being utilized in order to breed animals for human consumption and to supply for production or food production. Shifting to a plant-based diet will also reduce demand for land-intensive meat production, conserving forests and wildlife habitats. With a simple illustration that a restaurant in an urban city transitions to a predominantly plant-based menu, within a year, the establishment reports a 40% reduction in food waste and a 30% decrease in operational costs due to lower meat procurement expenses. And the customers also experience a greater variety of nutritious meal options. And this example highlight how businesses can play a role in promoting sustainable consumption, by which it will contribute for a healthy economy and at the same time healthy consumers and customers. As we see it in action, let us continue to embrace the plant-based foods. Now, another or the fourth one is the challenges in adopting a plant-based diet. Remember that challenges in adopting plant-based diet has actually constraints that we experience. However, there are also strategies by which we can conquer those challenges in adopting plant-based diet. That by transitioning to a plant-based diet, it can be challenging because of the cultural and social norms, affordability and accessibility, and the misinformation and also the nutritional concern. Well, basically, we can say that when we engage into plant-based food or plant-based diet, it's a bit costly or expensive, but there are actually considerations and factors on how we are going to combat with these challenges. That for cultural and social norms, according to Rosenfeld and Barrow of 2017, that meat consumption is deeply embedded in many cultures and traditions, making dietary shifts challenging. Okay? Another, accessibility and affordability, according to Darman and Jurnowski of 2015, that while plant-based diets can be cost-effective, fresh produce may not be accessible to all communities due to economic constraints and food deserts. Yes, because it could be the raw materials or the plants or the food are coming from uh, areas that cannot easily reach the different communities, or it could be there were constraints in transportation that is highly vulnerable for degradation and at the same time food deterioration. Next is the misinformation and the nutritional concerns. There are common misconceptions about plant-based diets, like lacking protein, iron, and essential nutrients that can only be found in animal-based foods, although well-planned diets meet nutritional needs. Again, these are just misconceptions because there are also food commodities that are plant-based that will serve as a substitute in order for us to get both the macro and the micronutrients, including the protein, the iron, and other compounds and elements that we can find from the food that we are taking. And the last key point is the practical strategies for promoting plant-based and sustainable healthy lifestyles. If we have challenges, we have practical strategies that will promote the plant-based and the sustainable healthy lifestyle. Well, it promotes responsible or to promote responsible food consumption, we, the individuals, the policymakers, including organizations, of different organizations, both the governments and non-governmental organizations, must adopt the following strategies in order to promote plant-based and sustainable healthy lifestyle. First is education and awareness. The more that we educate, the more that the people or the consumers are aware on the importance of plant-based diet, the more that we can achieve a sustainable and healthy lifestyle. Because according to Vaina et al. Of 2016, campaigns on sustainable eating and health benefits of plant-based diets can drive behavioral change. The moment that we ignite and educate our consumers, particularly starting from our students, for us HA professionals, including teachers or educators, the moment that we incorporate the importance and significance of plant-based diet and our instruction to our students or our learners, the moment that that they embrace it, and for the parents as well, as we campaign the plant-based or promoting plant-based diet, it can drive behavioral change. Behavioral change that may lead to production or that may lead to productive citizens and healthy people. Aside from that, policy intervention. As we promote plant-based and sustainable healthy lifestyles, it can also intervene for policy interventions. Governments can implement policies such as carbon taxes on high emission foods, subsidizing plant-based foods, and strengthening food labeling regulations, according to Gonzalez Fisher and Garnett of 2016. For us here in the Philippines, through the Department of Health, including the Department of Agriculture and our National Nutrition Council, the more they will strengthen the importance of these plant-based diet and sustainable healthy lifestyle, it may lead to possible healthier community. And the third one, sustainable food innovations. Noting that we have an abundant source of different food commodities in different categories of food, sustainability of its innovation is a must in order for these foods not be wasted. Plant-based meat alternatives and lab-grown meat technologies offer sustainable solutions to reduce reliance on animal products. So basically, plant-based meat alternatives and lab-grown meat technologies will actually contribute for solutions for a more healthier consumption of our consumers. So to sum it up, for us to fully grasp the responsible food consumption and to embrace plant-based diet towards sustainable and healthy lifestyle, let us continue to remember that responsible food consumption through plant-based diets is essential for human health, environmental sustainability, and global food security. And by making conscious food choices, reducing food waste, and advocating for sustainable policies, individuals and societies can contribute to a healthier planet and improve well-being. As we align with International Federation for Home Economics 2025's vision and mission that embracing plant-based diets and sustainable living is a pivotal step and a significant and a life-changing step when we tackle consumption for a better world. Again, the more that we engage into plant-based diet, the more that we can have or we can contribute for a healthier environment and a healthier community. So I will leave you these tips for us to action. Just start with gradual dietary shifts. Support local and organic produce and reduce food waste. The moment that we gradually shift our diet from a more processed food into a plant-based diet, and as we support our local growers and crop producers through organic production, as we reduce our food waste, and as we responsible or as we uh, start thinking or planning our meals, manage our preparations, the more we can be responsible when it comes to our food consumption. That will lead to a healthier lifestyle. So again, this responsible food consumption is an avenue for us to be knowledgeable, educated, and fully aware the significance of plant-based diet in our daily consumption. Once again, good day and God bless everyone.
Good day, everyone. My name is Professor Rex Robert E. Salvador from Globio Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology, College of Education. And I'm with two of my students from the Bachelor of Technology and Livelihood Education, major in Home Economics. And I'm with...
I am Stephanie Isupakan.
And...
Nerven Calabasa.
And we're going to present today on how to create the plant-based bagoong with utilization of dragon fruit for pigmentation. Before we proceed on the preparation of the plant-based bagoong with utilization of dragon fruit for pigmentation, let me give you an overview on how we innovate this product. The overconsumption of traditional base alamang made from fermented shrimp or fish possesses health risks like high blood pressure, allergic reaction, and fishy taste. The plant-based bagoong offers a healthier alternative by replicating the taste and texture of the traditional product without the harmful ingredients. Make it a safer and sustainable option.
Now, here are the ingredients of the plant-based bagoong. First, especially the dragon fruit. Next one, the nori kits, the fermented black beans, shiitake mushrooms, the gourd, and the vinegar, oil, the garlic, salt and pepper, and sugar. And lastly, optional, the chili.
While Stephanie is mixing the garlic, I am going to grind the shiitake mushroom using the food processor. Please be careful in using the food processor because the blade is sharp. So what I'm going to do now is to put the shiitake mushroom and push. Okay, as you can see, the shiitake mushroom is being pulverized. So if you will be able to see a large portion, then you need to continue grinding it. Are you done, Stephanie? Almost. Okay, so I think I'm good. So as you can see, the shiitake mushroom has already been grinded. Okay, so we're ready to use the shiitake mushroom. So once we're done grinding or pulverizing the shiitake mushroom, on this same bowl for the food processor, we're going also to grind the beans. For food safety, I'm using a disposable gloves. Okay, then push. Okay, now let's check. I think we're good. Steph, are we good?
Yes.
Alright. Right, so we're done grinding the shiitake mushroom together with the black bean and also the garlic. Now we're going to proceed on the seaweed. So you may use the unseasoned seaweed, alright? So that will be the same procedure. We're going to put it in our food processor. Again, be careful on the blade. Then lock, push. Okay, let's check. Okay, so there's still sheets, nourish sheets. Let's continue. And now, we're going to cut the main ingredient of the plant-based bagoong, which is the dragon fruit. And Stephanie will show you on how to cut the dragon fruit. Right, Steph?
Yes.
Please make sure that you have a sharp knife to cut the dragon fruit, alright? The dragon fruit is being cut into half and we're going to cut it again. We're going to cut it again into half. There you go. Then we're going to scoop the flesh of the dragon fruit here at the food processor. Make sure that you're going to scoop all the flesh. Be careful again on the blade. There you go. Okay? So, the dragon fruit is a little bit messy because of its red color. Okay, again, be careful with the knife. We're done cutting the dragon fruit and here's the flesh of the dragon fruit now. So, still we're going to use the food processor. Be careful on the blade. We're going to cover it. Then, the motor. We're going to blend it until the juice will come out. Okay, let's check. Alright, so as you can see, here is the juice of the dragon fruit. Okay, then we're going to transfer it here. Alright. So we already prepared the ingredients in making the plant-based bagoong. Okay, from mincing to grinding. So here's the ingredients. First is the juice of the medium-sized dragon fruit.
Next one, the 1/4 cup of crushed orange chips, 1/8 cup crushed fermented black beans, then 1 cup crushed shiitake mushroom, then the 1 full minced garlic,
Vinegar.
the vinegar, 1/8 cup,
2 teaspoons powdered black pepper.
then 1/8 cup of salt,
And 1/2 cup oil. And now, we're ready to proceed on cooking. Since we already prepared all the ingredients in making the plant-based bagoong, Miss Bell will going to assist me in cooking the plant-based bagoong. And now, we're ready to start the cooking. Again, I'm with Bell to assist me in cooking the plant-based bagoong. To start with, let's preheat the pan into a medium heat. Alright? So we're good. On the preheated pan, then we're going to pour the oil. Alright. Then set aside. Then let's wait until the oil is heated. Again, that is on the medium-high heat. Alright. So be careful because this is oil. Then next will be the minced garlic. To test, you may put a little garlic on the hot pan. So start with there you go. Then until golden brown. Is that right, Belle?
yes,
What's next?
we have here shiitake mushroom,
Alright. So wait until the garlic will become golden brown. Then we're going to add the shiitake mushroom. Okay. I think we're good. Then, are we good?
yes,
Okay. Gradually add the shiitake mushroom. The aroma is good. Okay. From medium high to low high. Alright, there you go. Although the shiitake mushroom is brown and the garlic is already golden brown. Okay, continue mixing it. Again, be careful in the oil because it's too hot, extremely hot. Okay, then what's next?
the fermented black beans,
Okay. Next is the fermented black beans. Thank you, Ben. Then mix it. Oh. Again, be careful because this is extremely hot oil. Then mix it thoroughly. Can you smell the aroma? Alright. What's next?
the nourishing,
The nourishing. Okay. Keep adding all the ingredients. Thank you, Ben. What's the purpose of the nourishing, Ben?
to add, to mimic the taste of fishy taste,
Fishy taste.
the
Okay.
traditional bagoong.
Thank you. Okay. Then let's wait for a few seconds before we're going to add the next key ingredients, which is the
Use of dragon fruit, sir.
dragon fruit. That's right. Okay. Are we good, Ben?
Yes.
Shall we add?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, we'll continue mixing it. Okay, as you can see, I think we're good. Ben, please do the honor for the juice of the dragon fruit, which is the key ingredients. Alright. There you go. Would you mind doing it? Okay. Pour the juice of the dragon fruit gradually on the pan. Okay, while Ben is mixing, I'm pouring it little by little. So, as you can see, the pigmentation of the dragon fruit will serve as the coloring for the plant-based bagoong. Just like the alamang, which is pink in color. As you can see, the color now is pink. Okay? Go ahead, Ben, mix it. So, while Belle is mixing, I'm going to clean all the utensils that is being used. Okay? Okay. Are we good, Ben?
Yes.
Okay. Again, at this time, we're going to use the low heat. Okay? While Belle is mixing it thoroughly. I can now smell the aroma. It's good. So the remaining ingredients we have here: salt and pepper. This is salt and pepper, and sugar. Then we're going to add the vinegar last. Okay. Thank you, Belle. Okay, as you can see, the color now of the alamang is reddish, dark red in color. So when I'm mixing it, Belle will going to add the salt and pepper. What's that? Salt? Are you going to put all of that?
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, gradually. Okay. Thank you, Belle. Okay. Then mix it first thoroughly. Then we're going to add now the pepper. Okay. Thank you. Okay, again, mix it thoroughly before adding the next ingredients. The aroma is good. Okay, what's next?
Sugar, sir.
Sugar. Okay, gradually then. Go ahead. There you go. Right. So again, mix it gradually. As you can see, it's a little bit watery. Then we're going to mix it so that the juice little by little will evaporate. Now, we have the last remaining ingredients, which is the vinegar. Then what's the purpose of putting vinegar here at the plant-based bagoong?
Okay, it is one of the preservatives to shelf life of plant-based food.
And speaking of shelf life, how long will it last? The prepared plant-based bagoong.
Sir, in a room temperature, it will last up to 1 to 2 weeks. While in the refrigerator storage, it will last to 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months. Alright. Are you going to add now the vinegar?
Yes, sir, you can add it.
Alright. There you go. Pour it. More. Alright. Thank you. Now, since all the ingredients is already on the pan, we're going to stir it thoroughly. Again, be careful on the pan because the pan is too hot. I can already smell the alamang. Okay? And speaking of alamang, we already have mangoes at the side. so that it will not get burned at the center here. Right? So continue mixing it. So when I'm mixing it, Belle already cut, okay, chopped the chili. Again, the chili is optional. You may add chili or you may not add chili. That will depend on your preference. Here, we're going to add how many pieces of chili? 2 pieces. Alright. 2. Okay. Thank you, Belle. Then again, we're going to mix it thoroughly. I think the mango is already prepared. There you go. Ready na ba yung mangga? Okay. So, as you can see, the mixture is a little bit watery. So, we can rest it for at least 1 to 2 minutes. But then again, check it from time to time because there's a possibility that it will get burned. So, the fire should be on the low fire. Low fire only. So just let it open so that the evaporation, the water content will evaporate. Now we're done cooking the plant-based bagoong and here's the final product. Alright, so we also have here prepared mangoes or the Indian mango together with the dragon fruit. Okay, then we're going to transfer a little. Okay, so that we're going to taste together with the mango. Okay? There you go. Okay, now I'll be calling Belle and Stephanie to taste the mango. Come on, Belle, and come on, Stephanie. So here's the finished product of our plant-based bagoong. Again, I'm with Belle and Stephanie. Now we're going to have a food taste of the freshly cooked plant-based bagoong. Alright, so come on, let's taste it. So be careful, it's a little bit spicy because we put 2 chili. Ang sarap. Ano lasa?
Sarap.
Sarap. Lasang bagoong? So as you can see, medyo basa pa siya. But then we're going to have the alamang rest for at least 30 minutes. Okay, this is the fresh cooked alamang. Sarap niya. Sarap. Wala kang hang, no?
Wala.
Siguro yung sili hindi maanghang. Amoy lang siya, pero hindi siya manghang. So again, ilang buwan ito nagtatagal, Ben?
It will last up to 2 to 3 months.
Ito po yung finished product namin. Ginawa po namin ito earlier this week. So ang nagawa po namin ito is around 10 dragon fruit. Yan. So gumawa po muna kami ng product. Then ito po yung video presentation paano siya ginawa. So makikita nyo, medyo dark na siya. Yan. So may mga sili din po dito. Nagmamantika din po siya. Kasi ginamitan natin siya ng oil. So sa paggamit ng oil, pwede ba olive oil, Stephanie?
Yes po, sir.
Canola oil? Yan.
Any oil po.
Any oil po. Pero sa amin, ang ginamit na muna namin is the vegetable oil. So pag gumamit, syempre, sa costing po kasi natin, medyo mahal ang olive oil, canola oil. So we use the vegetable oil. But then again, pwede po kayong gumamit ng any type of oil. Okay, for cooking. Yan. So madami pa kaming mangga. Okay, hindi ko nalalasahan. So, feeling ko may kulay pink. Okay? Yung pigmentation po, ito po yung sa dragon fruit. Kaya po siya nagkukulay na alamang. So, maliban sa mangga, nalalasahan ko din yung shiitake and also yung nori sheet. Yun yung nagpapalasa ng parang alamang niya. Alright. So So para sa mga vegetarian na may allergies sa hipon or seafood, pwede po sa inyo. Soon, magiging available na po ito sa market. We're still in the process of registering it. Okay? Para po ma-register na, magbebenta na po ito sa market. Okay. Pero syempre, available po muna yan dito sa e-reads niya. Magkakaroon po kami ng mga sample product po nito dito sa aming canteen, dito po sa e-reads. If you have question on the preparation and creation of the plant-based bagoong with utilization of dragon fruit for pigmentation, you may contact the PATHESCU Secretariat. And again, I'm Professor Rex Robert E. Salvador from Eulogio Amang Rodriguez Institute of Science and Technology, College of Education, and I'm with two of my students taking the Bachelor of Technology in Livelihood Education major in Economics. Again, this is...
I am Stephanie Supangan.
And...
I am Narabel Calabasa.
Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye-bye!
Thank you very much. And we hope that you have learned a lot from our webinar. And we thank all our speakers for sharing their expertise. And these things will also be used in your respective classes. So again, thank you for being with us today. And
Yes.
of course, we hope to see you on the next episode of our webinar.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Yusores. Just a reminder po that for those who registered for this webinar, para you could be able to get your PRC credit units and certificate. Next week, for the second session, PATHESCU Secretariat, we're going to email you the link to the webinar evaluation form, which is on April 12. And after the session, ng April 12 ng webinar series number 2 natin, you need to complete the evaluation form. We will be sending you the link. Once na you completed the evaluation form, then you will be receiving your certificate of participation with PRC credit units. Again, we emphasize to evaluate the webinar series. Otherwise, you cannot get your certificate of participation with PRC credit units. Next week, we will, of course, as promised, we have webinar series number 2, no, in celebration
Yes.
of our World Home Economics webinar. At another set of speakers will be sharing about tackling overconsumption, pero ito po ay itong mga tungkol ito sa pagkain natin, no?
Yes.
Mapapakinabangan yung ating mga plant-based, mga kumbaga mga produkto coming from plants. Para hindi naman po nasasayang, di ba? Kasi
Yes.
yung mga katulad nung maririnig natin next week, sa dami-dami ng mga ubod, no? Mga coconut shoots na tawag, tinatapon na lang yan kasi. Pero may
Yes.
paano po
Oo.
ang ating speaker next week ay i-share niya paano niya gagawing kapaki-pakinabang ang mga natatapon ng mga ubod, no, galing sa nyug. And of course, ako ay isa rin sa mga um, speaker and more on the health side. Kasi alam natin, we need to consume healthy food, no? Lalo na ina-advocate po ngayon ang plant-based diet. As ganun din naman dun sa ating speaker next week, Dr. Flores will be talking about
Yes.
a plant-based dessert, no? Para healthy ang dessert natin, hindi lang yung mga very high calorie and or high sugar, high fat. Ayan, so abangan po nyo yan next week. Same time, April 12. Maraming salamat po muli sa ating mga teachers who registered, and of course, ongoing pa naman po ang ating registration sa ating pong webinar. Dito po may QR code po dito na naka-flash. So of course for our PATHESCU members, discounted ang rate, di ba? And we encourage DepEd teachers to join us so you can earn hindi lang knowledge kundi yung inyong sa professional development by earning CPD units. Of course, Mami Nardine, any parting words before we totally end our webinar?
Thank you very much, everyone, and we hope na nakadagdag po kami na naman ng kaalaman na magagamit ninyo sa inyong pagtuturo at of course sa inyong pang-araw-araw na pagharap sa buhay. And to all our speakers, maraming salamat sa inyong pagpaunlak sa amin ni Dr. Fem para sa webinar na ito. At God will bless you 1,000 folds for sharing all this expertise. And again, dito sa aming Usapang Pantahanan, we humbly ask for your subscribe to our YouTube channel, Usapang Pantahanan. And if it is not asking too much, please include Lalin's project. It's all about dressmaking. And please also message us kung ano pa po ang gusto ninyong aming i-share ni Mami Fem or ni Dr. Aquino. And we are willing to do it for you. Yan, Dr. Aquino.
So ang webinar na to ay hatid po ng Philippine Association for Technology and Home Economics of State Colleges and University Incorporated in partnership with Usapang Pantahanan YouTube channel. Thank you once again and see you next week. Bye!
Bye! God bless us all!